Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I want people to believe in me, and I want people to believe in me when they taste my beer. That's what it's about.
You mean you laid underneath it and tried to
put his tongue up the bung?
I like to actually scoop up the yeast and look at it.
7 o'clock came real early that next morning.
Yeah, man. Thanks for dumbing that down for us. You did an awesome job. It's all about food and beer.
Punch me in the junk. Man, that thing was thick.
The point is just beat it like it's your dick.
I like to smell it afterwards.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
Yeah, bring your body armor.
I ran into my junk once on a ball valve in a kettle.
That's a true happy ending.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
All right, hello. My name's Justin. I'm the host of The Session for the last time in a very long time. But not for the reasons that you're used to, which is
depends on
my own personal issues.
We are talking about the death pool tonight. Do you know? Do you have some insider information?
Depends on where you fall.
No, we are getting very close to the final stages of construction at the Hop Grenade in Fort Collins, Colorado. And I have to be there. So I will likely, other than maybe a cameo here and there if I'm wanted, will not be back on the show till like August sometime.
So see you August.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm headed back to Colorado on Monday, and a week from today. I leave only to go to NHC, of course, to join you all at the great National Homebrewers Conference. Oh. But I'm flying in and out of Colorado for that even, and then I'm pretty much there.
Bringing weed?
I guess I could. So happy to be here for my last show for a little bit of time, and then you guys, I'm sure, will do a great job holding down the fort.
You've been here a lot this spring. You deserve a summer break.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
Two times in a row?
Don't want
maybe three.
Don't want me getting burnt out again.
Right, yeah, careful.
So, yeah. Anyhow, you guys will do a wonderful job. And tonight we got a great show for you. I want to thank our sponsor, More Beer. Just a wonderful group of people over there who bring you this session and every session that we do. You can go to morebeer.com and check them out. And just great guys. And tonight on the program, we've got Big Ditch Brewing Company out of Buffalo, New York. Matt Kahn, the president, will be joining us on the show. They sent us quite a bit of beer to try. Some interesting ones there.
I like that. I like it already. I think he's my hero already.
Exactly. So we'll be doing that in the second segment, as usual. Also on today's program, we will be making the death pool official.
Will we have a pool hanging on the wall in the studio after tonight?
We should. Yes, I think we...
Buy a square.
We need to do
right, yeah, right. The Hop Grenade staff can buy squares.
That's a great idea. I think we should do that. They're like, yeah, the boss is dead. I won. Yeah, so by making it official, I mean that JP has acquired the services of 2 medical professionals, a nurse and a doctor.
That's correct.
And
or they just dressed up
a wet nurse?
You don't know.
We'll go into it a bit later in the program, of course, but we filled out some questionnaires for them, and they're going to come in and talk to us and actually give us, for the first time in Brewing Network history, even though we've been talking about the death pool since back in the garage, I think.
Yeah,
it's been a while. We're going to get a real list of who's at the top.
Right.
And
I think we need
who's
those
at the bottom.
boards that we can move up or down on.
I'm thinking that we could.
The names have to be able to move up and
even
down.
just a whiteboard, and we can get magnetic strips.
Yeah.
And just bring it in like once a quarter. You know, and then see. So keep in mind that one of the guys who's coming in is an alcoholic. So there's that. Yeah,
The doctor or the nurse?
Yeah, it's a good question.
He's an echo tech.
Okay.
But he's bringing in a doctor. I mean, he's qualified enough to, echolocate your heart. I don't know what he does.
Are we going to have a live echo on the? Is he going to echo us?
If we could have echoes on his mic only, that'd be great. Okay. No, he's a good dude, Russ. I think we've talked about it a couple times. Known him for a long time, and he used to work at EJ Fair actually.
Okay.
As like a bartender or whatever. I pitched him the idea, and he was like, "I would love to do that," because he's been bugging me for like 11 years to be on the show. So I'm like,
I see.
You need to bring some sort of thing, some sort of like tangible.
Yeah, you don't just get to come sit here and get drunk.
He's like, I can talk about beer,
Doc's
Jay.
job.
Yeah, and I'm like, we have plenty of freeloaders. Okay,
yeah.
I'm kidding. So I'm excited for it, and he's excited for it too.
Okay,
mainly because I told him he gets.
We're not giving samples or anything tonight, right?
Stool samples.
As far as I know, no.
Butt samples.
Now, did Jamil fill out his form?
He did.
All right, good. So we really did the whole BN staff. It's not just a session.
Right.
Okay.
I even got one of Dr. Homebrew. Brian Cooper filled his out.
Okay, good.
I don't know if John Palmer did.
Okay.
Like, that's how deep we went in the pool, right?
Yeah, we wanted everybody who works at the BN on there.
I think Shimke did.
Okay, our social media director.
I think Taylor did.
Porno
Steve.
For those of
you who don't know. I don't think Jay Goodwin did. The other half of the Sour Hour. But I do know that Moscow did.
He did. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the only people that haven't, and I don't know if we want to talk about who hasn't done it yet or not, or if you want to wait for that segment.
No, well, I'll just say, unfortunately for us on this particular program, Bevo is not with us today. She's got some things going on that she had to take care of. So, and then Tasty has opted out of the death pool. So which is difficult because if we were betting men, it's obviously really between me and Tasty who's number one and who's number two. That's the fun bet. So I'm still mulling over how we're going to do that. Clearly, Tasty still needs to be in the death pool. I refuse to remove him from the death pool. We're just going to have to insert him based on what we know.
He just prefers being poolside in a nice deck chair.
We could roll a 20-sided die.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so, he just personally, obviously, I think people have learned about me over the years. I am perfectly comfortable with my mortality and my imminent demise, for that matter.
And all of ours.
And not everybody is so comfortable with that subject, and that's fine. But we are making it somewhat real by doing it this way, and I thought that would be a lot of fun because I am a morbid fuck.
It's all fun and games until you go into the bathroom and look in the mirror and say Candyman 3 times. You know what I mean?
I guess now I will be worried if I'm not towards the bottom of this list.
If you're not at the bottom, I will be worried for you.
Well, we got Porno Steve, too. We got the young guys between Beardy and Porno Steve.
Yeah, but he's in a band, dude. Like, he's got he has, I think that ages you a few years anyways.
It could.
The list didn't, or at least the questionnaire didn't seem to include any handicaps that could put you into extra risk.
I was thinking that about you.
Because that's where my X factor comes in. What if I don't see my death coming?
Do you mean just like surprised, like hit by a bus? Is that what you're talking about?
Or
because you can't see.
Right, yeah, some vision-related.
Those type of handicaps. Yeah. I understand. Yeah. Okay, well, we can bring it up, and if they have to revise their list accordingly.
Yes. Sure.
I in the questionnaire, I told them all my bullshit. It's like,
you answered questions that they didn't ask.
Well, I was 5. I was pretty thorough. Like, it sounds like you guys added in jokes and shit. I was like straight up. I want to know where I'm at on the list. So,
well, there's nothing like, I'm probably going to get stabbed in the middle of the night.
Yeah, there's nothing. That's true. They didn't ask about other, like, sort of social and
crazy
psychological lifestyle.
Environmental risks.
That's true, because that does... we might have to just discuss some of these things with them when they're in here. So we'll do that later on in the show. Once and for all, we get a real death pool list here at the BN, and I don't know if our listeners are as excited as me, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. We should have asked them to give us actual dates, too.
Is that a part of the pool, calling the actual dates?
Yeah.
Jesus.
They have an algorithm for
it? Just so I know what day to have a party, I guess.
Right.
Party every day, and
what
then
day you need to have a party before.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what psychics are for, dude.
Yeah. See, oddly enough, even though I'm really comfortable with all of this stuff, I am entirely not comfortable with psychics or any sort of future predicting.
Because you think they might be right?
And I just, because, like, death is, like, just, it's sort of done, right? And you may or may not know it's coming, whatever. Right. Like, that's all cool. Anything else that they predict in there, I don't want to fucking know and wait for that. Like, that stuff you got to live through.
Can I just mention how insane you are that you put psychics in with future predicting stuff? Like they're both super, number one, real.
I just worry that they are.
Number two,
accurate. They are.
Well, then you should be going to church. Like, the Bible is the number one future predictor.
I do a Hail Mary every now and then. I cover all of my bases.
I don't think that's how most of that works.
Well, the Bible tells the end. It doesn't tell what's going to happen between now and then.
No, but it's like a handbook for living, right? Is what they say. So you should act certain ways and do certain things.
I do unto others
as you would be done unto you.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even think that entire exact phrase is in the Bible. I think that's been paraphrased.
It's the golden rule. It's in there.
Right. I don't think that's the Bible.
The King James version. That was interpreted.
The New Testament
interpreted version.
King Midas said.
And now you just interpreted it even more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I give you shit, give me shit.
Justin,
that's my rule.
28.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, so
I'm excited.
We'll do that a little bit later on in the program. Of course, first, like I said, we got Big Ditch Brewing Company on. Let me get through a couple of notes for you. Drake's Aroma Coma Day is coming up. That, of course, is the release of their Aroma Coma. That's July 7th. And it's a free event, but you can go buy your tasting packages ahead of time at aromaday2017.eventbrite.com. And that way, maybe you don't have to wait in lines and do a bunch of things when you go the day of. So it'll be a good time. Come to your senses and join them for Aroma Day 2017. They're kicking off a sensational summer of beer by exploring the sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and feels of their Aroma Series beers, which they do every year. And a good thing is getting even better with the release of Aroma Coma 2.0, along with the danktastically awesome Aromatherapy Triple IPA. So go check it out, aromaday2017.eventbrite.com. And, go hang out with the Drakes guys.
Do it.
Also, as I just mentioned, the National Homebrewers Conference is coming up. It's just around the corner. In fact, it's next week, isn't it?
No, week after.
2 weeks.
Well, it's about 10 days from now.
I'm leaving on
this
next
Saturday. Week. It starts next Thursday on the 15th. Right. So it is next week, and now's the time to register for HomebrewCon. HomebrewCon is the homebrew event of the year, packing a massive amount of fun and learning into 3 unforgettable days. It is June 15th through the 17th, where you can join thousands of your homebrew comrades in downtown Minneapolis. Early pricing is still available. Actually, no. Early pricing is no longer available. If you haven't been listening to me up until now, you missed out. But you can still go register at homebrewcon.org. As you should. We're going to be there having a good time. No BN party this year. I know some of you are gravely disappointed. It just didn't happen.
I can't vouch for the unforgettable part.
Yeah. There's lots that you forget. It's going to be a good time, despite having no BN party. We'll bring it back next year in full force. So just come hang out with us at the conference instead, and there's other events going on. Sorry to disappoint anybody. It just couldn't be made to happen this year. I'm a little bummed. It's the first year in 12 years that we haven't done one, but what are you going to do? I'll just have a beer by myself or something and celebrate. Pour a little out for whoever's at the top of the death pool.
We won't even be invited?
No.
You'll just go?
Yeah.
Have a party?
Pretty much. In my room. Okay, you can support us by doing your Amazon shopping. Just hit the Amazon link on the homepage, and you can do that if you're in the U.S. or the U.K., even after Brexit, I would imagine. So you do your Amazon shopping as usual, and then we just get a little piece of the action. Doesn't cost you any more, and I promise we don't really snoop about all the things that you're buying. At least we can't see what your name is when you buy it.
That's true, but we are snooping.
Yeah. You can also subscribe and join the BN Army. That gets you into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, chance to win $100. Just make sure your address is current in PayPal. Hit the donate button on the page. You can sign up for as little as $2 a month. The more you donate, the more you're entered. And that one really keeps us going, too. So thanks to all of you who have been doing that over the years. Plus, it gets you our newsletter. It's a valuable service that you do for the Brewing Network. All right. Go get updates, funny quips, photos, ideas. Different things on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
That's correct.
Yeah.
If you go on Instagram, you'll see a photo of us after the Firestone Walker Invitational Beer Festival in Firestone Walker. Well, 3 friends and Kim minus Justin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the photo? It's minus me?
It's minus you, yeah.
Right. You don't remember sleeping?
Had I died, or...
Well, you weren't... Yeah, do you remember eating lunch with us? Because if you do, we should talk about
then.
that.
Yeah. Okay. There's no photos of us
yesterday.
at the festival?
No,
on
there
Instagram?
are. I was just mentioning that that we went to Firestone Walker and they made a Hefeweizen. Matt made a Hefeweizen that Julian Schrago talked about on the stage. Amazing.
Okay.
Like amazing. Super good.
Great.
So,
okay.
Julian was not wrong.
Right.
Again.
It was a great festival, too. We had a good time. Did a couple of panels. You're definitely going to see one of them on our YouTube page soon. The other one, we had a couple technical difficulties. We're going to try to piece it together and get it right. But we did a cloudy versus clear panel with Matt Brynelson and John from Arizona Wilderness and Julian from Beechwood that I thought was a very entertaining panel. The crowd was a little riled up. That was cool.
Yeah.
We got a cameo from Wayne over at Cigar City, who gave his opinion in no uncertain terms.
And it was funny because you saw him in the thing in the audience and you kind of called him up.
Yeah.
He mentioned it and he kind of just humbly goes up there and then just fucking vomits a bunch of information and then just kind of humbly walks back. It was like
nothing happened.
Yeah, soft, aggressive, soft.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
So we'll get that up as soon as possible, and then you can share in the Firestone Walker experience with us. And the rest of it was, as usual, a good time, hangover-inducing, and fun to meet a bunch of our listeners out there, by the way. Shout out to the folks from Modern Times Brewery who invited us to come hang out with them and drink beer and play cornhole. That was a good time. And, of course, shout out to the Rare Barrel and Society for hosting an awesome bottle share. And just a lot of good people there. It was another good year. So if you can get yourself tickets next year, you should. Even if you got to fly out here for that fest, it's a good one. All right, send your feedback over to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. And you want to do a Twitter game?
I do.
Me too. All right, Twitter game is brought to you today by the Wine and Hop Shop, locally owned and operated for over 40 years. They've been doing this. Great friendly service with over 50 combined years of brewing experience. Half the staff there is brewed professionally. And Brewing Network listeners get $8 flat rate shipping on orders under 50 pounds. Just enter BN shipping in the notes field of the shopping cart, and your discount will be taken post-checkout. Most items ship within 24 hours. It's the only place to get Wisconsin Hop Exchange and Gorst Valley hops grown in Wisconsin. So check it out. All AHA and local homebrew club members get a 10% discount, over 100 varieties of hops, 100 varieties of yeast, and over 75 types of malt. Also, they now carry Omega yeast and Giga yeast. So go check them out. It's the Wine and Hop Shop. What's our Twitter game?
Well, after coming off a great weekend at the Firestone Walker Invitational Beer Fest, it made us think of you, the listeners. So I want you to put together your God tier BN travel group to spend a weekend with in the BN bunker. Who would you like the top tier?
Okay,
your absolute pinnacle selection of people from the Brewing Network all across the shows, and have to be the session, to travel with and spend a weekend with in the bunker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like who and why in 140
It doesn't need to be why,
characters?
but, most people, I think, just throw a why in there anyways. Because
otherwise we're just going to vote for the ones who chose us. It's going to be a very difficult winner at the end.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
You're right.
Is this a prize or a punishment for them?
Whatever they want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They choose.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Well, God tier. That's they're the best of the best that they would do. So it's a pleasure for them.
Well, unless you're a Satanist.
It's clearly 5 versions of me.
Right.
Justin.
Yes.
Justin and Justin.
Yeah.
All right. How about some feedback?
Let's do that.
Feedback's brought to you today by the Beer Law Center. Our friend John over there runs the Beer Law Center. You can go to beerlawcenter.com and check it out. He protects our trademark. He could do the same for you. He could also help you with your brewery paperwork or anything brewery-related. Plus, his book's coming out soon. That JP, I believe, wrote the foreword.
I did. I wrote the foreword to the Sitzmankowitz files, or whatever it's called.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Go to beerlawcenter.com. All right. First email is about the Firestone Walker Invitational Beer Festival. As a matter of fact, there's a little note to the three of us. Beardy, I told you to shut the fuck up at the end of the Firestone Walker Beer Festival instead of properly introducing myself. You weren't even talking. Intoxicated. Me apologizes. Never apologize for telling Beardy to shut the fuck up.
Especially if he's not been talking.
Yeah, watch this. Shut the fuck up, Beardy.
Well, actually, the reason I wasn't talking when he told me is because he told me to shut the fuck up.
Oh, I see. JP?
Yes.
Thank you for not being too much of a bitch during the beer clarity panel.
You're welcome.
Could have done without the slow clap at one point, but I'll survive.
Yeah, after Wayne was talking about his experiment of that he threw everything through a centrifuge and he preferred the clarified cloudy beer.
Yeah.
I just did the biggest slow clap in the entire universe.
Yeah.
I even saw a couple fist pumps.
It was great, man.
Justin, saw you walking around pretty nimbly throughout the event. A casual observer would have no idea your feet are all sorts of fucked up. The B vitamins must be working.
You nimble little vixen.
Yeah, they're not working on the feet, though. I got to call the doctor back. Let's see if we can do something.
You'll never do that, though.
Yeah. After today, we'll see what happens.
You might be right on the phone with
him. See what other advice the doctor
Yeah.
gives me.
JP, finish the show. I got to go to the ER.
I mean, clearly, I'm just going to use this segment as a visit about myself anyway, and see if I can get help with all my other issues while the doctor's here.
Right.
So, he goes on a serious note. Thanks for everything you do. The panels were interesting and informative. Really glad you guys didn't tell everyone you were going to be pouring beer at them as well. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
Definitely had already had my fill of being surrounded by fat and neck-bearded man-children at that point. I guess he means if you come to our panels at Firestone, we pour beer for you. Maybe he's happy we didn't advertise that. Although I did advertise it on the stage. I told everybody to come on over.
Yeah.
Anyway, he says, I'll see you next year, barring a surprise death pool winner.
Neck-bearded children.
Cheers.
That's interesting.
From B-Dub.
I think generally most of the people who are at that fest are, probably your average, more beer nerdy than average, but I thought everyone was relatively well-behaved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a pretty good fest.
Yeah.
All right, and then Darren writes in, of course, it seems we get one every week now, about the good old New England IPA. As a transplanted Yankee currently enjoying the beers of St. Arnold, Carbach, Jester King, and Bachfish down in the Houston, Texas area, and I'm soon to be moving back home to Maine, I must say I'm not pleased with the new categorization of New England IPAs. There are many very good New England brewed IPAs that don't try to make including the trub in the beer a feature. So
awkwardly phrased, but I get it.
Yeah, it still works, I think. My wish is that these no longer are referred to as New England IPAs, but as slurry IPAs or trub IPAs or some other descriptor that describes the chunkiness and thickness of the beer without categorizing all New England IPAs to lack what most would consider good brewing practices and adherence to styles. From Darren. You know what's interesting about that is... Yeah. I think what he is referring to is not what we used to refer to as New England IPAs, but what we used to refer to as East Coast IPAs. Mm-hmm. We always had West Coast.
Right.
And I might be misinterpreting, Darren, so I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. But There still is the East Coast IPA descriptor, which is obviously larger than New England, the whole East Coast. But I don't ever remember using the term New England IPA for anything else than this current iteration of the style.
Right.
So,
So I think what he's saying is there's plenty of breweries in New England that are making clear IPAs
that'll get hurt by this name, potentially.
Right, because then now everyone goes, oh, a cloudy beer is a New England IPA. Well, that's not entirely true. So that might turn them off to other people trying IPAs from New England that have half a brain that don't like cloudy beers.
However,
I agree with him.
Based on the, I guess, anecdotal data that I have collected, which is in talking to a lot of brewery reps and brewers who have started to brew one, even if reluctantly. Even the informal poll that we did of our audience during the panel, saying that you have a New England IPA will not hurt business.
Right.
It is very, very popular right now. The vast majority of the crowd preferred them in our panel. Like I said, reps are asking their brewers to make them if they're not making them. So while you might be right in theory, you're probably wrong in practice. If you say you got a New England IPA and it's cloudy and all the other things we talked about, you're probably going to sell a lot of beer. So it's something to think about.
I don't know if
the marketing term is working.
I don't know if the crowd said they preferred them. They just said they liked them.
Well, fair enough. You fucking technical asshole.
No, there's a difference.
With beardy every time.
Approximately.
Actually, technically, they said both. My initial question in the review is, do you like them or not like them? And the vast majority said that.
Sure.
However, after our first sample of a clear one and a cloudy one, they preferred the cloudy one overwhelmingly as well.
Oh, they were drunk.
It was hot. Most of them had sunstroke.
Right.
Let's recreate that, but in an air-conditioned environment.
Yeah. Faulty experiment.
Let's get Brulosophy back here.
Right.
So anyway, Darren, thanks for writing in.
Yes, sir.
B-Dub, thank you for writing in. And that is your feedback for today. All right. I think we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Big Ditch Brewing Company. We're going to try some of their beers, which I'm excited about.
Me too.
And then later on in the show, finding out who's dying first, folks. Hang in there. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Are you a member of the White Labs Customer Club? If not, you should be. It's the easiest way to earn free stuff for turning in your old homebrew labels from either Vials or Pure Pitch. All you have to do is save your labels and redeem them for things like free yeast, an exclusive White Labs t-shirt or sweatshirt, and even the opportunity to brew with the yeast man himself, Chris White. Signing up is easy. Just go to whitelabs.com/customer club, fill out the registration form, and then mail in your labels. They will return the favor by sending you awesome White Labs swag. Go sign up today at whitelabs.com/customer club. White Labs, pure yeast and fermentation since 1995.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring Monk's Blood. Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Brewing great beer is a process of continuous learning, and the best books on every aspect of brewing can be found at Brewers Publications, with more than 50 awesome titles like Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong, Designing Great Beers, the Ultimate Guide to Brewing Classic Beer Styles by Ray Daniels, American Sour Beers, Innovative Techniques for Mixed Fermentations by Michael Tonsmeyer, For the Love of Hops, The Practical Guide to Aroma, Bitterness, and the Culture of Hops by Stan Hieronymus, and Radical Brewing, Recipes, Tales, and World-Altering Meditations in a Glass by Randy Mosher, plus many, many more. These are the books and the authors with the knowledge to push your brewing farther than you thought possible. And you'll find them all at fine homebrew and book retailers everywhere. And visit the website at brewerspublications.com. Brewers Publications, all the best on beer and brewing.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Marin Brewing Company in Northern California has been making award-winning beers for more than 25 freaking years. Today, I want to tell you about their new 12-ounce cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale. The good stuff. Mount Tam is bright gold, 5.5% ABV to keep you feeling good, and has been winning awards since 1989. If you're visiting the Bay Area, get your butt out to Marin Brewing Company. They pour tasty beers and serve great food every day until midnight. Come in for a tour, stay for the food, and pick up a 6-pack of cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale to enjoy at home, camping, biking, or whatever the hell you do. Owner Brendan Moylan has this to say about Marin Brewing beers. It's freaking awesome. Marin Brewing has won more than 100 gold medals in international competitions. Check out marinbrewing.com for all their award-winning beers, food, and merch. Marin Brewing Company in Larkspur, California. Award-winning taste, refreshing finish. It's freaking awesome.
This is Corey King from Side Project Brewing, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
Yeah, you are. Welcome back to the show. We are just about to talk to Big Ditch Brewing Company. I want to remind you first to go check out greatfermentations.com because they are giving away free homebrew ingredients for 15 years and a Blickman Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. Just go to greatfermentations.com/giveaway and enter for your chance to win. It's a huge prize, a $10,000 retail value, compliments of Great Fermentations. The grand prize announcement will be on Saturday, June 17th, so you got just a little bit of time left to do it. They're also doing random giveaways every 2 weeks leading up to the close of the competition. Items include conical fermenters, temperature controllers, and the new Blickman Riptide brew pump, and more. As always, you'll get top-notch customer service and same-day shipping on many items. Go to greatfermentations.com/giveaway, and be sure to like them on Facebook and find them on Instagram as well at GR8 Fermentation. Great Fermentation. All right. On the line with us, we should have our esteemed guest today, Matt Kahn, the president of Big Ditch Brewing Company. Are you with us, Matt?
I'm with you. How are you?
Great. Hey, thanks for being on the show. We're doing all right. How's things out in...
Great. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. You guys are in Buffalo, New York. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, very cool. Honestly, in our years, and it's not that we haven't had... a New York brewery on. We certainly have, but not a whole lot.
Not many.
Especially the way the beer scene, I feel like, has grown up in New York over the years. How old is Big Ditch Brewing, Matt?
We've been open for a little over 2.5 years. We've been working on this. I mean, we've been working on this actually for longer than we've been open. We started working on this in 2011, but we opened for distribution in 2014. We opened the tap room in 2015 and started canning our beer just last year.
Got it. Okay, so moving fast like all the breweries that open up right now.
Yeah, it's been really fast. There's not a moment to breathe really, but it's been fun.
Good.
We're having fun.
And yeah, what do you think about New York as a beer scene in general? You know, years ago when we started, it just kind of seemed a little behind the whole curve. But I feel like you guys have taken off like lightning.
Yeah, for sure. I think Buffalo, where we're headquartered or where we're stationed, is probably a little bit behind. But it's picked up really quickly. When we started planning our brewery, there was, I think, 3 other breweries in town, and now there's something like, over 20, maybe 25 breweries.
Wow.
And that's all happened, like, mostly in the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
New York as a whole by now, though, is, I think, fantastic. There's a great festival that happens here called Tap New York. It's the single biggest New York State Craft Brewers Festival. There's, I think, 140 breweries there this past year, and you're getting just phenomenal beer of all styles and shapes from all over the state. So I think New York's really, getting close to, I don't want to say leading the way, but it's catching up pretty quick.
Sure. I would agree with you. God, that's a lot of breweries at a festival.
It's a ton.
Is there a festival called Brew York?
Oh, there should be.
If there's not, I'm starting one.
There should be.
Too late, Beardy. You just gave it out over the air. It'll be gone before any of our lazy asses.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
Better get a trademark.
Actually, my trademark just came through.
Oh, great.
Yeah, John,
congratulations.
Yeah, John's great at it.
You're good at that. So, Matt, you're the president of Big Ditch. What does that mean? What do you do there?
That sort of means I do a little bit of everything, but not very much of any one thing.
Okay.
And just sort of running around like crazy all day long. But I help to supervise the brewing staff. I don't do much brewing anymore. When we first started, I was doing a lot of the home brewing myself and sort of helping out our head brewer, who's also one of our owners, Corey Catalano. But now I sort of supervise the brewing staff, and I do a lot of the scheduling, order the materials, and then also, we have a sales team, growing sales team. We have a tap room, supervise them as well. So it's a lot of little things, and try and have fun, I guess.
Which is, I'm sure, why you guys got into the business, right? And now you just have to remember to keep having fun.
Right. Yes. It's not that hard to remember to have fun when you're around beer all day long.
Yeah. Now, what was your brewing experience before Big Ditch Brewing? Home brewer or?
When we first came up with the idea for Big Ditch, we had never made beer before. We just liked it a lot.
Wow.
But again, so that was the beginning. But we, again, like I said, there was only 3 breweries in Buffalo back when we came up with the idea, and myself and my partner were both, we were actually working in the biotech and pharmaceutical industries. So we were doing a lot of things related to brewing, but not really brewing. Like one of my jobs I had in my career before this, I did nothing but clean tanks for 2 years, which actually is very, very helpful for being a brewer.
Sure, yeah.
So we had a pretty good, strong science, technology sort of background, which is great for working at or owning a brewery, and just picked it up from scratch.
Okay.
Just got better and better at it, and that's kind of how it went.
Yeah, I have in my notes that you, in the pharmaceutical industry, that you basically created cell culture media. Can you explain what that is and how it relates to brewing?
Right. So cell culture media is it's basically the food for cells that make drugs. Think about it it's like wort. So, wort grows yeast. Well, this cell culture media basically grows cells that make drugs. So it's very similar. Sanitation and sterility is really important when you're doing stuff like that. So,
right.
It was actually a pretty interesting job, but not quite as fun or as tasty as the beer that we make now.
Well, that depends on who's asking. I mean, did you stockpile any of the good drugs that you used to make?
I wish. Yeah. I wish I had done that. It was a mistake.
I mean, not a big mistake. I'm talking about for the apocalypse, of course, not for recreational use. No. You know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. That too.
Yeah.
For recreational use in the apocalypse.
But that's right. But you make a good point. So really, you were kind of creating wort for the pharmaceuticals, and now you're creating wort for yeast. It's really kind of the same principles, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I bet you must be a real kind of sanitation Nazi around the brewery, I would imagine, after being in that environment for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we do have a lot of people that will visit the brewery and are actually surprised how clean it is. Okay. You know, and I mean, the breweries are generally pretty clean places, but we take extra steps and precautions to keep our brewer pretty clean. So we've had really good track record and success with just cleanliness and sanitation.
Did you implement a lab in the brewery upon opening too?
We did, and that was something, again, that I think maybe surprised a few people, at least in our area it did, that we opened with a lab. You know, it seems like that's one of those things that might be like an afterthought.
Yeah.
You know, you add that somewhere down the road, or maybe you have a problem and you got to start looking at that, but right from the beginning, and it's a small lab, like we're not doing a lot in there, but we're doing all the basic stuff. I mean, we look at yeast several times a day, and we're doing finished product testing and in process. So yeah, we're doing a few critical things, but I mean it's helped us immediately. I mean,
sure.
And I would advise any new brewery starting. It takes a few $100, maybe $1,000, and you've got yourself a pretty nice lab that's going to help you a lot. So,
are you checking up on the same yeast several times a day, or are you talking about across the various fermenters that you have?
Yeah, I mean, we'll basically look at yeast before we pitch it. So we'll measure cell density and viability to make sure we're pitching exactly the right amount of yeast we want to pitch, and make sure it's still healthy before we go.
Okay. And are you keeping your own yeast strains and repropagating, or do you just sort of repitch several generations and then purchase new yeast? Or
we don't propagate yet. I'd love to propagate just because it would save us a bunch of money.
Of course.
You need you need a lot of time and space for that, and we've just never really had that. So we purchase and go out several generations and then repurchase again.
Okay. And when you do decide to purchase again, is that a flavor analysis? Are there other metrics that you're looking at in the lab there to make you decide the yeast is ready to go?
You mean like when we're ready to stop harvesting and start all over?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's little things, so we have a small, mostly the brewers, but a few other people that work for us too, a small tasting panel. So they're able to pick up on little differences. They might see a little difference in attenuation or clarity, things like that. So, it's small, really subtle changes, but, you don't want those to become something big, so you want to catch it early,
Sure. So it's mostly like a sensory analysis like that.
Yep, sensory, and, a few numbers and appearance, things like that.
Okay. So the beer that we have in our glass from you right now is your Lowbridge Golden Ale. Tell us about this beer.
Sure. So Lowbridge is one of we call our signature beers. It's on all the time. Sells real well in our tap room. And Lowbridge is a beer that when people come into our brewery, again, maybe being in Buffalo, people are still learning about craft beer. It's still something new to them. And so they're interested in trying something from us, but don't want to get blown away by anything. They're looking for something drinkable, but still tasty.
So what do they come in?
Lowbridge.
What do they come in and ask for? You can be honest. They come in and say what do you have that's most like what?
So actually, around us, there's a Canadian brewery called Labatt.
Oh yeah.
Labatt actually sells really well around us. Yeah, you guys know Labatt. So So people get like Blue and Blue Light are very popular beers. So a lot of times they ask for a Blue Light, but they might ask for a Bud Light or a Coors Light, something like that.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, if any of my friends' dads were drinking Blue, that was like a fancy import. Like my dad would make fun of them, like, "Oh, you got that fancy Canadian beer,"
and it's not even Thanksgiving. This is a random Tuesday.
Yeah,
no one's coming over.
Yeah, I guess Randy got a raise.
Yeah. I also have some friends, in Canada. Whenever I was there when I was younger, I drank my fair share of Blue.
You have to.
And I watched hockey.
I mean, so did I back then. But,
yeah. So
people move on a little bit, so that's what we're here for.
Essentially, you just said people grow up.
Exactly.
What you just said.
Yeah, they stop watching hockey.
Whoa.
And start watch curling.
Whoa.
Maybe not.
Yeah, see, no, you can't stop watching hockey in Buffalo, can you?
No.
No, that doesn't happen.
It's not like Sabres going to win, so it's fine.
So, all right. So this is kind of your answer, that introductory craft beer. Can tell us about?
I can see that.
Yeah, it is a great light flavor. I don't even like using that descriptor, but it is very sessionable and crisp and clean.
But there's like a biscuity, grainy thing that there's actually flavor.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and it's a like a I don't know, light, toasty or like crackery flavor that I think appeals to a lot of people.
Yeah,
because it is interesting because you don't get necessarily those flavors from your mass light lagers. Those are just alcohol delivery systems. But this is light enough where it doesn't weigh on your palate, but you still have some flavor to actually go, oh, you mean things I drink can actually taste like other things?
Right.
That's great.
Yeah. So can you tell us about the malt bill and the hops and all that?
Yeah, sure. So it's a pretty light malt bill, and most of the beers we make with hops are similar. There is a little bit of biscuit malt in it, so you pick that out real good. I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for there, something biscuity and sort of crackery for the malt bill. And there's a little bit of carapils and then just 2-row, So the malt bill is pretty simple. And then hops we're using, like when we actually first conceived of this beer, we originally wanted to do a Pilsner. I love Pilsners. I drink them as much as I can.
Me too.
But, in a small craft brewery, doing a Pilsner instead you have to lager for 2 months was just not going to happen. So this is sort of the faster version of that, the ale version of that. But it's got very similar hops to a Pilsner. We have some Tettnang in there, a little Northern Brewer. And then we add a little bit of American hops. We had some Cluster and Crystal.
Nice.
To give it a little more citrusy character.
And is that all kettle hopping, or is there anything dry hopped in there?
There's a small dry hop, like not very much. It's just a little dry hop, just to give you a little bit of nose.
Okay.
But it's mostly kettle in this beer.
Got it. Yeah, it's a really nice beer.
Yeah. Do you do any water treatment? Because it's got a really nice balance. It's not an overly malty water profile, and it's just nice and crisp, but also not just really harsh bitterness either.
It's a little mineral, which adds to the biscuity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Is that just your base water, or do you treat it?
No, we do treatment. We change the water chemistry in almost every beer we make. The water in Buffalo is in pretty good shape. It doesn't have a lot of. It's not very hard. Not a lot of calcium, so it's pretty easy to work with. It's a little bit like alkaline, so we have to adjust the pH frequently for lighter colored beers. But we do a little salt treatment and a little bit of phosphoric acid to get the pH down. And we alter the pH for every beer we make. We do find that in a lot of cases it does alter the profile. Might make a beer, accentuate the bitterness or the malt, or just make it a little bit softer. That's true of this beer as well.
And the beer that we're drinking is in cans. Is that all of your packaged product? Everything in cans?
Just about everything. Occasionally we'll do a limited bottle release, like we've done some wild beers and some barrel aged beers in bottles, but almost everything else we make regularly is in cans.
And did you start that way? Because I think I remember you mentioning that you started with a production brewery before even a tap room. Was that just kegs, or was that kegs and cans even from the get go?
When we opened in 2014, we were just doing drafts.
Okay.
That was the first that's the way we tested everything out. And then we used the tap room to, develop more recipes and get more customer feedback. And it wasn't really until last year that we started the canning line.
Okay. Did you guys purchase a canning line?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. We,
Ouch.
you know, well, yeah, but you know what? Like, as I was telling you, we're scientists, which means we're a little bit like control freaks, and just, you know, we've wanted the complete control of our beer in our own hands, which is invaluable. And not only that, I mean, it's scheduling to. I mean, there's days where, like, you know, you're behind by a day, and you know, we need to wait a day to can. Like, that's going to be harder to do when you're scheduling somebody. And right now we're canning like 4 days a week.
Wow.
So it would have been pretty tough to try to schedule someone to do that. So it's an investment, but it's going to pay itself off like in no time. So we don't feel bad about it.
And I'm sure you went through the process when choosing your canning line of figuring out dissolved oxygen levels and things like that. Do you know what you ended up with this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's one of the things that, like, I think it'd be hard to do if you're contract canning with somebody else.
Yeah.
But we went out and bought a DO meter, which again I think the DO meter costs about as much as an entire tank.
Wow.
So you know, most I think small newer breweries would be maybe a little cautious to do that. But again, it comes down to the quality. I mean, do you want to know what you're putting out there, or do you not? So yeah, we measure it in all the beer we can, and we're within specs for what you should have for packaged beer. We usually try to get below like 100 parts per billion in every can.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yep.
All right. So we have finished our first beer and moved on to I believe it's the FC Session Wheat IPA.
That's correct.
That you sent us. And what's the FC? Tell us about this beer.
Okay, cool. So FC was actually a sort of a idea we had to collaborate with our local, like Buffalo has a professional soccer team called FC Buffalo. And so they were sort of looking for a beer to basically party with before, during, after games. So they came to us and said, hey, we really want to do something like this. And right at that time, myself and Corey had this idea of just brewing like a really, really, low ABV beer, 4%-ish, but just all like finishing hops and just, a ton of aroma and flavor, but just not much bitterness, not much malt, just a really hoppy, really drinkable beer. And so we came with this beer, FC. Originally, FC actually stood for fantastically crushable, is what we used to call it, and it is.
Yeah.
You can drink a lot of these beers, But then as we progressed a little bit and went to cans, FC Buffalo's motto is for our city, which we liked even more. So that's kind of what the name of this beer is, for our city.
Okay. Very nice. My staff around here will like fantastically crushable. That's a term we like to throw around too. Crushable.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm reading on your site, Simcoe, Amarillo, Citra. So some really great hop choices in this. Why the wheat IPA? Talk to me about that.
Why the wheat? I think it was just one of those things that we, at the time, were like, we haven't really brewed much with wheat at this point. And so, wheat adds this, a little bit of mouthfeel. I think we're thinking for such a low ABV beer, we're trying to, not make it taste like this super dry, incredibly light beer. We're trying to add a little bit of mouthfeel to the beer. Mm-hmm. And wheat also is nice and crisp, so it fits really well with this idea of something fantastically crushable.
Sure.
So, we add a little bit of wheat to it.
Did you not want to cash in on the New England marketing that you could have just said?
Because
instead of calling it a wheat IPA?
For our listeners, by the way, it is not a overly cloudy, thick, milky IPA, by the way.
A touch of haze.
There's a little haze to it, but it's
hazy, that's it.
Pretty much true to style anyway, or fits within the style.
Put wheat in something, that's what's going to happen, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And we do have beers like that. I mean, we've got these crazy hazy beers as well too. This just does not happen to be one of them.
Okay. So, what percentage of the grist, even if in generalities, is the wheat?
Is the wheat? The wheat's like I think it's about 50%, maybe just a little bit less than 50%.
Wow.
Okay. Guys, you got to help me. My memory is fading in my old age.
Okay.
When you get up to that
are
percentage, you got to use like rice hulls and stuff in the mash tun, right? Is wheat one of the ones that gums things up?
I think so. Yeah. It depends on your equipment. Some people can get away with it, but you're riding the line at that point.
Home brewers pretty much need the rice hulls. There's no husk on a wheat grain, so you don't get a filter bed out of it. You get a big dough ball.
I see.
Yeah.
So, Matt, what's your experience in the brewery with this much wheat?
With this beer, because the ABV is so low, the grain bill is so light, it's not really a problem.
Okay.
We have other beers, like the beer we're going to taste next has some rye in it, and that's a bigger grain bill, and that one gums things up all the time. Like, we almost cannot use enough rice hulls to keep that thing from sticking. So, but the FC is not too bad.
Okay.
One thing I've been kind of reading about recently is any pre-treatment you do of the rice hulls in terms of trying to rinse off any excess dust. How do you add your rice hulls to the mash?
I have not heard that one before, actually. Usually what we'll do is we'll put the rice hulls in first to sort of coat the bottom of the screen in the mash tun. We have a rake, which is nice, so we'll turn the rake on to spread them out nice and even, and then we start mashing in.
So will you actually use water and rinse them before and just let that water drain, or do you just spread them out and that's it?
Yeah, no, we don't rinse them, but like when you're mashing in, like the top of the screen is sort of coated with water. So they're already a little bit wet by the time you start mashing it anyway.
Okay.
Beardy, I've heard the same with just rice, by the way, the same rumor about with cooking.
Okay.
That if you rinse your rice before you put it in the rice cooker, it's far less likely to be that like sticky clump.
Okay.
So by the way, I've just heard it. I haven't done it because I'm too fucking lazy to rinse anything.
It takes a little while until it runs clear.
It does? Okay.
But it does make a difference.
And then you notice that your rice isn't sticky?
Yeah.
So you would think, even though they're rice hulls, the same would apply. It's the same material, the dust that's on there.
Yeah, and I've heard that some brewers claim that attributes either flavor or mouthfeel or something that you can easily remove by just rinsing the rice, like spread them out over the louder ton screen, and just spray it down, but just letting that water drain.
Interesting.
And so then you are literally just using the material for mechanical aid in filtering.
Yeah. You know what would clean them really well is just like hang them in a bucket underneath Niagara Falls for a little while.
I think you should do that all the time. That's where you should brew.
Right.
That's where you should mash.
We could do that. Yeah, that'd probably be more work than any of us really want to do, but it would be fun.
Yeah.
Like once.
Plus, it's dangerous work. But yeah, it'd be fun once. Yeah, because you wouldn't survive, man.
Right. Right.
Well,
but up until then, it'd be fun.
Yeah, you're right. It would be a lot of fun up until that moment.
Yeah, for sure.
I really like this beer. I think your choice of that much wheat in an IPA has really worked. I like your choice of hops. And
the hops, not one stands out. And I think with some of those hops, they can be standouts, right?
Yeah.
But they all kind of blend together because they're at the levels that everyone kind of works harmoniously. And I think the wheat, with some of that mouthfeel, helps to carry them through and make everything kind of cohesive. And we talk a lot about balanced beers, or we say this a lot about beers, but this to me is one that's a little different.
Yeah.
There's that mouthfeel that kind of is just pushing it along, and maybe the hops are just on either side of it, right? Like a wedge.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to describe what I'm saying, but it's not like this. I can really get the Simcoe out of this or whatever. Everything kind of works in tandem, and then that wheat kind of ties it together and makes sure that one doesn't get away. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
I also think...
Yeah, and I don't think the wheat is too much of the flavor profile either. I think it, again, is just more sort of subtle and does a little bit for the mouthfeel, and it's really the hops that are sort of leading the show there.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you're right about that, but what I will say is that in some sense the absence of flavor is what's notable about the wheat, because I guess what I mean is it's a little bit lager-like. I've had some lager yeast IPAs that have this kind of character to them. It doesn't have, I'm not saying it has all those qualities of like a really nice Pilsner malt or something like that coming out of it, but there's something about it's a bit more light body than a traditional IPA, I think, because of the wheat, which is probably obvious. And it just, I just feel like it comes out almost lagery, cleaner.
I get the kind of doughy heavy mouthfeel that that wheat can give in this beer.
I don't get that.
I mean, the hops kind of help cover it up, but it's different than if you have like an under attenuated IPA where you get like a cloying sweetness on the end.
Which this is not.
Oh no, this is not.
Yeah.
But instead of that, with the wheat, you get kind of like a heavy, not heavy, like moderate mouthfeel that's not sweet, but it's in the finish with the hops.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a mouthfeel there.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're...
Yeah, a little doughy mouthfeel.
Yeah.
That's not sweet, but it's there, and that's the wheat coming through, I think.
Yeah, because I mean, my thing with session IPAs is I'm over them. Because I'm done with them. I'm totally done with it because you're painting, and I think we were talking about this weekend. You're painting with the same color palette. You're painting with all the session IPAs in the universe taste exactly the same. They're watery, a tiny bit of malt, and then whatever hop du jour you want to do. This doesn't have that. This has an extra dimension that carries it through. So it's a session IPA that's actually interesting to me.
Yeah.
Everything else is just watered down hop water. This is not. That wheat adds a structure to the mouth. Excuse me, to the mouthfeel and to the flavor that. Most, if not all, session IPAs are lacking. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Nice. Actually, what's funny about this beer is when we first started selling it, we actually were calling it like an American wheat ale, just like we were almost thinking like Gumball had by Three Floyds, which is like it's a really hoppy American wheat ale. I think it has all Amarillo in it, but that was confusing people in Buffalo. Like they were expecting it to taste like I don't know, like something just like flavorless. So then they'd order it and they'd be like, "Well, this has too much flavor. I don't like it anymore." So we sort of felt like we had to tell people that there were hops in there to not confuse people. That's kind of why we did Session Wheat IPA, But
I hate when I can taste things.
Titles or whatever. I wish we didn't have to do them, but it's like you got to kind of tell people what you're going to get before you order it, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
JP, I don't know if you know this, is actually our co-host here is actually opening a brewery called Fuck Off Brewery.
That's right.
So that when customers like that come in, he can say fuck off, but they just think he's talking about the brewery name.
That's true. I don't have a hope of getting the names passed, but it's going to be like eat shit for asking for an IPA.
Yeah.
But that'll be the name of the stout.
I understand.
It'll be a whole thing.
Sounds fun.
That sounds great, right?
Good place to bring your mom to.
Yeah, exactly.
All our beers are going to be served at the Tornado, so there's an excuse to be yelled at. It's been great.
And if none of that works, he's just going to call it I Don't Care Brewing Company.
Yeah. And then enter and then burn the building down.
Yeah.
With a big insurance policy.
By the way, just a quick anecdote. At Firestone, I had a beer called Imperial Session IPA.
Perfect.
We've joked about that before, if you remember, a couple of times on the show. We've joked about things like that.
A brewery did it.
Good.
Unfortunately, I can't remember the name right now. And, of course, it was an IPA.
Sure,
it was
right.
a 7% something. It was really nice. And it just, they just named it Imperial Session IPA.
That's funny.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I told them they were great for it. Okay, Matt, can you hang on a second while we take a break?
Absolutely.
Good. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and try some more beer. First, though, don't forget about White Labs. All strains from the vault have been released by White Labs. If you missed your chance to order one of their rare and unique specialty strains, don't worry. The popular strains like WLP 835 German X Lager, WLP 611 New Nordic Yeast Blend, WLP 564 Leeuwenhoek Saison Blend, and more will be making a comeback to the vault next month. I really have to talk to the White Labs people about their copy because I think they're just fucking with me with the names of the yeast that they're making me read. But all amazing yeasts. When White Labs resets all the strains available for pre-ordering, stay tuned for more details and full announcement from White Labs. In the meantime, go to whitelabs.com/thevault for details on how to get access to these highly coveted strains for homebrewers. White Labs. All right, we are going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we're going to taste more beer from Big Ditch Brewing Company, which I'm enjoying thoroughly. Plus, don't forget, later on, the Death Pool. It's the session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like
Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from the BrewingNetwork.com.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all-grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com. Also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Hi, this is Tyler from Libertine Brewing Company in the Central Coast of California. You're listening to Brewing Network, The Session. It sucks. Does it suck? It sucks. But that's what's good about it, is that it sucks, right?
Yeah. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Hey, Neshaminy Creek has been on the Philly beer map since 2012. 3-time Philly Beer Scene Magazine Brewer of the Year 2014, 15, and 16. 2-time GABF Vienna Style Lager Medal winner 2013 gold and 2016 bronze. Also a bronze for their Smoke Lager in 2016. Large, expanded, and recently renovated tap room with 24 beers on tap, 18 which are rotating and seasonal limited beers. Variety of beer styles, hoppy double IPAs, sessionable, poundable lagers, cellars, oak fermented saisons, and sour beers, free brewery tours on Saturdays, and a new second location opening this spring. Go to NeshemenyCreekBrewing.com and check them out.
Dude, so I got an email from Jeremy. He was on the show, the Neshaminy Creek show. He's a brewer.
Really like that guy.
Yeah, he and it's my fault. I didn't update the copy because I was gone. But he said last week we took home 2017 Philly Beer Scene Magazine Brewery and Brewer of the Year honors again.
Wow!
So that's 4 years in a row for Brewer of the Year and 3 years in a row for the Brewery of the Year.
Holy cow!
So he won it personally.
Yeah.
Why is there a difference between brewer and brewery?
I don't know. You'd have to talk to the people at Philly Beer Scene Magazine.
Yeah.
That's a weird distinction.
These are the things that get Beardy's goat.
I know, and it's like, and then he asked me like I have the answers. Meanwhile,
because
the first
there's a difference between the brewer and the brewery guys.
The first thing you say is, "Hey, that's really cool." But no, it goes right to the
because he's like Captain
Who's this asshole?
Semantics. And well, guys, that sounds great and all, but did anybody else hear that one line?
I mean, congratulations, but what the hell?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Is really what Warren's saying.
Well, they won both, so it clearly they did good.
All right, we're still here with Matt Kahn. He's from Big Ditch Brewing Company in Buffalo, New York. And if you want to read more about what we're talking about or just check them out, explore the website over at bigditchbrewing.com. And so, Matt, right now we've moved on because that's what we do. We tend to drink fast. Excavator Rye Brown Ale is in our glass.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the dark beer we've got today.
Okay. By the way, you guys do brew a lot. I was looking through your website, and a lot of different seasonals, a lot of different regular beers. You have several in your lineup.
Yeah, we usually have at our tap room somewhere between 10 and 15 different beers on at a time. It's fluctuated. Like I think when we were first open, we probably could only do about 6, but we've accumulated them and. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have something for everybody. You get people coming through the door people who love light beers or hoppy beers or dark beers, something strong. We've got a little bit of something for everybody. So
great. So tell us about the Excavator Rye.
All right, so this one's pretty interesting, actually. It's a brown ale, and most people don't get too excited about brown ales.
I do.
That's very true.
But you're right.
I mean, in general,
No, you're
like,
right.
brown ales, whatever.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say this is a typical brown ale. It's a little bit darker than you'd normally find a brown ale. It's got like a ton of chocolate character, a little bit of caramel, I'd say fairly robust for a brown ale. And then we have the rye, and the rye is it sort of just finishes with this spicy finish. And if you didn't know that it had rye, you probably would just sort of wonder, like, what is that? But the rye actually really dries it out, so it keeps it from being too sweet. And just, winds up being a pretty complex kind of brown ale.
Yeah.
So we find people like it.
And guys, am I having short-term memory loss again, or I don't remember actually tasting a lot of brown ales made with rye over the course of our show, or even the course of my
no, I know
professional drinking.
Happened. I think it's happened.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I mean,
sure
maybe one time out of 100.
Yeah, and the reason I'm pointing that out is, to me, it actually seems like a little bit of a no-brainer to add a little rye. I think, Matt, you're right about the little spicy character that comes out of that, and I like the flavor of rye nowadays. I didn't used to, actually, but now I think, and I don't know if that's my palate or brewers have just gotten better at using it.
It's probably you got better.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Or like the rest of me.
Brewers are still terrible at it, but you are improving.
You're doing it.
And I love you for it.
Yeah, I like that in this. And then also a lot of your traditional brown ale flavors are pretty strong in this. To me, there's a lot of chocolate characteristic, toffee. Gosh, you name it. You kind of nailed it, Matt, when you said you were looking for kind of a complex brown ale.
Yeah.
If you didn't tell me that there was rye in it, I would have guessed that there was just like a little hint of cinnamon or something like that. Like how you said you add the rye to add a little spiciness. I totally got it. But to me, with the chocolate and the brown and caramel malts that were in there, the rye just made it kind of be a little cinnamony to me.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah. And again, like when we were first conceived of this beer, a lot of people were using rye just in pale ales or IPAs, which just sort of made these really dry IPAs, and so we were kind of like, well, what happens if we add this to something really malt based? What did it do? And again, it plays nice. You've got sort of the sweet and spicy together, in one beer. So. This is, I wouldn't say this is our most popular beer, but there's people who just love this beer like it's their favorite beer.
Are you using a chocolate rye, or is it just a regular rye malt?
We just use regular English chocolate malt and then flaked rye, actually.
Oh, okay.
And when you mentioned how when it's in ryes and IPAs or something, it can be like a really dry IPA. Is that because rye is just sort of super fermentable and is used to dry beers out?
I think so. I mean, I think that it's some combination of the fermentability and that spiciness just lends itself towards like a sort of a drier character. I found, Okay. So. I guess I'm not really sure what that is. Something about the flavor profile and the grain itself.
And why the choice for you of flaked rye instead of a more typical rye malt?
That's a good question. We didn't really experiment with a lot of different kinds of rye, like malted versus flaked. I think we actually like using a lot of flaked grains in our beer. Like when we'll add a little bit of wheat to our IPAs or oats, and a lot of times we'll just use the flaked grains. They go into the mash really clean, and I think they add, from my experience, a little more mouthfeel than using the actual malts. Okay. I'm not really sure what the science behind that is, but we've found it to be true, and I think that's true in this beer as well.
Are you just doing single step infusion mashing and adding the flaked grains then? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. We don't. We'll mill in all the grains, and then we'll take the bags of flaked rye or wheat or whatever, and just add them into the mash while we're doughing in.
Plus, the flaked rye was totally on sale the day the rye came in to the brewery, so it sounded like a great idea.
There was none left of the other stuff, so that worked.
Yeah, and then, you know what? This worked out great. I would be interested just to try. I'm just asking, and it sounds like you'd be interested too. Just a side by side would be interested. Yeah. Beers like this where you did some flaked, and you did. We should have some of our homebrew folks around the show do some experiment with that, like. The guys at Doe's who come in here and hang out with us, Matt and Vinny and Steel Phil, do like a flaked rye and a regular rye recipe and find out.
I think it'd be different. For
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to take, sort of pick out what those differences are.
Yeah, I would guess
because I don't have to brew it.
If you're doing a single step infusion, you might get more of a mouthfeel difference without doing a beta glucan rest or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the ABV on this beer?
This is 6.2.
Which doesn't taste like it. I thought for sure this was like more of a 5. I don't know why.
Yep.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You had mentioned before, like you had thought that FC was almost sort of lager-like, and I think that we talked about the lab practices and measuring yeast and pitching. So I think we sort of take pride in brewing really clean beers and trying to hide alcohol in some of the beers we make. So I think this is an example of it.
A good example of it, too. Also in cans, by the way. Like, all of these things are super to go. And I like seeing other styles like brown ales and porters, you name it, in cans, right? Like, it's just kind of cool to be able to take... I mean, I'll take this on the boat.
On the West Coast, it's hard to find, for me, dark beers in general. It seems like we're the king of like light beers, not light flavor, but light colors, like yellow, like SRM negative fucking 11 to whatever the yellow is, 8 or 9 or whatever, and that's getting tiresome. And so I love canned beers that are dark.
Yeah.
At this point, I'll forego my weird hang-ups on alcohol. You know what I mean? Just for some flavor, man. Give me some flavor. Stop painting with the same color palette.
Well, Matt, you even indicated when you were talking about it that, it doesn't sound like the most exciting style to people, but how do you guys do with this beer in terms of your sales?
Like I was saying, like it's not our best seller, but we have these like very loyal bars that like it's like their best selling beer. It's nothing, doesn't go everywhere. You know, the IPA goes everywhere, but we have these very loyal accounts that sell it all the time, and it does pretty well. I mean, I think like from what I've seen, it's probably one of the better selling dark beers in our entire area. So like again, not our best seller, but still holds its own.
Got it. Does it change by season? Do you find that you sell more of it in the winter or anything?
A little more. Like I said, it's pretty steady. You know, I mean, it's there's maybe in the middle of July, this isn't your most people. It's not a lawnmower beer by any means. So
you want to cut your foot off.
It'll sell a little bit better in the winter, but also people tend to take cans out more in the summer too. So it's fairly steady.
Okay. All right, and last but not least in our glass, we've got the Hayburner American IPA, which I've already taken a sip of, and I'm enjoying this very much. Tell us about this beer and which hops you use, the malt.
They have a picture of Warren on the can.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, it's a Jackass.
That's a Jackass.
I'll still take a royalty.
Go ahead, Matt.
Nice. So Hayburner is by far our best seller. It's probably one of the best-selling craft beers in our entire area. We just seem like we cannot make enough of this beer. This beer is like a lot of sort of modern IPAs. We brewed it to, we weren't looking for something with a lot of malt character at all. And we actually weren't looking at anything for much bitterness either. I mean, I think a lot of our IPAs, we try to really tone down the bitterness. I sort of feel like bitterness destroys flavor. And Hayburner's like that, too. In addition to that, Hayburner is pretty dry. So it's 7.2%, but, like, extremely drinkable for that ABV.
Yeah.
So people are just out there drinking a ton of this beer. The hops we use a little bit of Warrior for bittering. And then we use some classic, like, she hops. We use, like, Columbus and Cascade. We use a little bit of a hop called Glacier, which has this, like, little bit, like, peachy and earthy tone to it. And then we dry hop it with a lot of Falconer's Flight. And Falconer's Flight is in itself, like, a bunch of other hops. So it's overwhelmingly citrusy. It's orange, maybe a little bit of melon, grapefruits, and, like, slightly earthy. So, yeah, but very drinkable.
It is. This is the beer at the barbecue that gets me in trouble because I've had 4 or 5, and before you know it, I'm actually kind of shithoused because it's 7.2%. And
4 or 5,
but it didn't taste like that the whole time.
It would take me 2, and I'd be stripping and telling you about I don't know how little I poop. I don't know.
How many cans do we have?
No.
We have one more.
At 2, I would actually engage my guests, and then at 3, I would start telling them funny stories about other people.
Yeah.
And then at 4 to 5 is when I realized, wow, that beer is really strong. but it didn't taste like it.
Yeah, and then someone bring the ladder to get me off the roof.
That's 6.
That's when you relinquish the barbecue tongs and step away from the fire.
Yeah. This one is really nice, and I'm curious. Old school Falconer's Flight. Who chose that and why? And by the way, I think it's a great choice.
Yes.
So I'm asking, who's the smart one and why?
Well, actually, the story behind that is when we were the first thing that I tried to do after we basically incorporated the brewery was go contract hops. And this is in 2013. And there was nothing good available for a new brewery with no credit history that wasn't open yet.
Right.
To get. Originally, we were planning on putting a lot of Citra in this. And actually, we won a homebrewing award with a version of this beer that had Citra in it.
Okay.
So we're like, damn it, no Citra. And so then the idea was well, what can we make that would be still pretty damn good, but still sustainable? And Falconer's Flight was one of those things. Not everybody was just reaching for it, and I was well, let's try it, and took a few experiments, and we got Hayburner.
Nice.
So and that seemed to work out.
I think it did too.
Yeah,
I love this hop combination, and I don't know that I've seen this exact hop combination before, but it all really works together nicely.
Over the years, has Falconer's Flight stayed pretty consistent for you versus kind of how you can get crop beer variation if you stick with just a name brand hop?
Right. There is, I would say, some variation from year to year. So, we may do a little bit of tweaking here and there in terms of how much we're adding and that sort of thing. But it's fairly consistent. I mean, just consistently that like big orange character has been there since the beginning. So it hasn't changed very much. Actually, the thing that's changed the most on this beer has been the clarity. Like when we first started brewing it, we were like finding it and trying to get it clearer, and then looking around and trying to follow the trend. It's like I don't think that makes any sense, and so we sort of abandoned all attempts at really trying to clarify this beer which made the beer like a lot better. So it's one of those things that like we brewed it over and over again and just gotten better and better and better over time.
So you noticed that you preferred the flavor profile. You weren't dropping out some of the things that you found desirable when you stopped clarifying.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to not filter or clarify or anything, your shelf life's probably going to go down a little bit.
Okay.
But the intensity when it's fresh is just way better.
Yeah.
Like we would get a beer in the bright tank and it tasted great, and we'd let it sit there for 3 days and clarify, and then we'd be like, it's not as good as it was before, So then we were like, well, let's just then not do that. And that was a pretty good idea.
Yeah, genius.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the aroma of this beer. I think that it just has like I said, it's a little citrusy. It's slightly floral. But it's strong. It has a really strong aroma. It really comes out of there. So I'm enjoying that. And then, yeah, again, just that it sort of doesn't taste like it doesn't drink like a 7% beer.
No.
It really
I'm actually already drunk. I've probably had 3 sips. I can't.
Yeah.
Do you know what the IBUs
I
are?
can tell you that I'm surprised by how many people, like how much Hayburner people drink. Like,
right.
Like they'll be like, yeah, I drank like 10 Hayburners yesterday. It's like, how is that possible? Like, I don't know. It happens.
And then their wife is like, actually, that was the day before yesterday. You've been sleeping since then. It's strong.
We've all had, like, everyone in the brewery has had like a Hayburner moment. It's like it happens to everybody.
Right? Yeah. And so those are some of my favorite beers because they just give you a story to tell your friends, or a story for your friends to tell about you. Right. That Hayburner moment. There's some I have some local brewery favorites. Drake's makes a beer that I've had a moment with. It's Denogonizer.
Okay.
Whenever back in the day in the Pacheco house, when we had that on tap every now and then, because Chad would put it on tap.
Right.
Well, Chad would have one. But me, because I'm an idiot, I'm and also to me it drank like this, and so 4 of those, and before I know it, I was naked and out in the front yard. So you guys need T-shirts for like Hayburner moments, I think.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Your customers can probably relate.
You leave, you just find them in random places. You never know you're going to leave them.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That'd be a good social media campaign. #Hayburner moment.
Yeah.
Just think of all the videos you would see.
Tell us about your Hayburner moment.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Run it by the lawyers first, though.
Oh yeah, don't endorse it at all. Just let it happen.
Right. So. I just, before we wrap things up, running out of time here, but I just wanted to ask, what do you guys have planned for the future? And are you guys going down the sour beer route or the more session beer route? What do you guys see yourselves doing in the next few years?
Artisan water.
Yeah.
You never know. Probably a little bit of everything. I mean, we like experimenting with sours. I wish I could do more with sours. We just don't have the space. And again, because we're like the science guys, we're just afraid of ruining our entire brewery. So, but we've got a few barrel age experiments that are hanging out in various random places in the brewery.
Okay.
And then it's still IPAs are really, really popular here. So we started doing these limited release canned IPAs of these ridiculously hopped IPAs. Those are very, very hazy. They get all the Instagram pictures and whatnot. So those have made people pretty happy. So we release a new beer in cans every 2-3 months.
Got it.
How far outside of Buffalo can people find your beer?
We actually not very far, actually. We just started distributing in Rochester, which is sort of like the sister city of Buffalo, about an hour away. But that's about it. That's about as much as we can make in just feeding these two cities. So, you have to come and find us if you want to try our beer.
Okay. Well, I highly recommend doing that, not just because the beer was really cool today, but the area up there is really nice. I like Buffalo. Not in the winter, by the way. Don't fucking go near that place in the winter. I have driven through there. I was on my way to Toronto, which it just gets worse as you go.
Right.
But I was going to a friend's for Christmas, and I went through. It was kind of beautiful, but I'm just terrified of the cold and the, I don't know what it was, 100 inches of snow that it seemed like was on the ground. You guys have some rough winters there, yeah?
Yeah, it happens every once in a while. Random wake up and can't get out your door,
right,
sort of thing. But around here, people are like, oh, whatever.
You guys don't even notice anymore.
It's just another day.
Yeah. You're better people than I am. Right. You can go to BigDitchBrewing.com. You can get the address of where to find them. There's also a Find Us on Tap link right there. You can get information about the tap room, all the beers that we've been talking about. There's even a jobs and events link. Yeah. Go check them out at BigDitchBrewing.com. And, Matt, I want to thank you so much for spending your time with us and also for sending us beer. We really appreciate being able to try it with you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No problem. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
If you ever make it out to sunny California, you give us a call. Come on into the studio,
Absolutely.
and we'll share some beer with you.
Would love to do that.
All right. Very cool. Thanks, Matt. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
All right. There you go, folks. That is Matt Kahn. He is the president of Big Ditch Brewing Company. Sent us a lot of great beer.
Yeah.
Enjoyed trying today.
Freshly canned, too.
Freshly canned.
He date stamps the bottom so that way you can see.
Yeah? What date you got there?
On the Low Bridge, it was May 2nd.
Nice.
Oh, Jesus. On that Haybrenner, May 26th.
Okay.
Whoa. That's about 10 days old or something.
Yeah.
He sent us the good stuff.
Pretty good. We got one more can of that, too, so
okay,
we can Indian leg wrestle for it. I'm sorry, Native American leg wrestle for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's better.
You'll do that after just one can.
Chicken boner.
All right. Hey, you guys know the third annual California Craft Beer Summit and Beer Festival is coming up again. It's in September 7th through the 9th, and is the premier event for the craft brewing industry. It's put on by the California Craft Brewers Association. Network with established and up-and-coming brewers, learn from equipment vendors and suppliers, and get tips on how to perfect and improve your home-brewed beer. Get the chance to hear brewing industry innovators and pioneers talk about their days as homebrewers and share stories from their startup experience. Educational sessions include Ask the Brewmaster, How to Start a Brewery, and help you build a strong foundation in the beer industry and continue to hone your craft. The 3-day event ends with the largest craft beer festival in California, featuring more than 160 breweries from across California. And it's all right in front of the state capitol. By the way, I've been there. That festival is a beautiful spot to be, and the entire event is a good time. The summit's a valuable educational event for everyone, whether you're looking to start your own brewery, pair beer with food, taste and discuss different beer styles, or advance your understanding of distribution channels. You can get your tickets. They're available at cacraftbeersummit.com, cacraftbeersummit.com. Early bird discount ends on July 10th, so I suggest you go do it. And I went to the first one, and it really was a great summit. It wasn't advertised like this at the time.
Okay.
But it was really like a who's who of beer. And, and it was relatively small because it was its first year.
Right.
I'm telling you, every brewer that you ever wanted to meet, you homebrewers out there who have like your, right. I got to meet that guy. They were all there. It was a really,
that's cool.
It was a very cool scene. So I'm sure it's only gotten better since then. Go to cacraftbeersummit.com and check it out. All right, guys, you know what's up next.
I do.
When we come back.
What?
Time to finalize that death pool.
They're ready out there. Talk to them. They're ready to come in, yes.
All right, we're going to take a little break right now, and when we come back, the moment you've been waiting for years, which one of us will croak first? You'll hear it here first. The only scoop we ever get on the session.
Time to go swimming.
Hang in there. We'll be right back.
listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection. With over 20 years of experience making world-class craft beer and more than 100 gold medals in international competitions, Moylan's Brewing Company is not just a pretty face in craft beer. Just ask Brendan Moylan.
What do we got here? The beer of the hour. Moylan's, gotta love that big M. It's like a sign of awesomeness. Woo-hoo! It's got an extra kick to it. Let's pour this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Moylan's. The end of the night when the kids are finally in bed, the wife's in bed, nobody's bothering your ass anymore. That's Moylan's time. Moylan's is for you. Yeah. It's to help you out. Yeah. It helps me out.
What?
Well, because it's freaking awesome. Northern California brewed. It's brewed with love.
With love?
Oh, yeah. Tremendous. And it's always best where?
Moylan's.
You gotta try it. On tap at Moylan's in Novato. They're friggin' awesome. Not only because I own the brewery, because I love the beer.
Cheers!
Boom.
Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale takes big beers to a whole new level with rich malt balanced perfectly with delicate hops, and now comes in 4-pack tall boy cans so you can take the party on the go. Or come to the brewery, take a tour, and try any of Moylan's fresh creations right from the source. Check them out at moylans.com.
BN Army, have you heard the latest at Hop Tech? Since Hop Tech has doubled in size after a huge expansion, Jade and Roberto can stock even more of the best quality homebrewing supplies and equipment. Over 60 kick-ass varieties of hops and malts, monster truckloads of quality brewer's yeast, including White Labs, Y-yeast, and multiple dry yeasts. They even have all grain systems from Grainfathers and Ruby Street Brew Systems, thanks to Jade, the brand new all-grain brewer. And don't forget about their 10% discount to all BN Army members. Jade and Roberto are waiting for you and all of your brewing questions over at hoptech.com. Hoptech, totally not sucking since 1983.
Hey guys, what'll it be?
I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
A lot of people seem to like the Hefeweizen.
Is that a German Hefeweizen or more of an American-style wheat beer?
I'm not sure, but I can give you a taste.
Okay, great.
The Cicerone Certification Program certifies and educates beer professionals in order to elevate the beer experience for consumers. Unfortunately, not every bar is staffed with certified beer servers who can guide their customers through a beer list.
Here you go, guys. Let me know what you think of the Hefeweizen.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely more of an American wheat. But I can hardly tell because this beer just smells like sour butter. I wonder how long it's been since they cleaned the draft line.
Yeah, and look at the bubbles on the side of the glass. It's filthy.
Somebody should tell these guys about the Cicerone program.
For sure. How about we head somewhere else for another beer?
Your server should give beer the same respect you do. Request quality. The Cicerone Certification Program offers 4 levels of beer certification, in-person classes, and course books for beer professionals. Check them out at cicerone.org. The Cicerone Certification Program. We know beer.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn the cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin A great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
That was mislabeled. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. I might be dead already.
Never know.
Yeah. Stranger things have happened. Hey, craftbeer.com. Don't forget that they got the beer and food course over there, and it's free. The craftbeer.com beer and food course is the groundbreaking course that leads professionals and enthusiast chefs alike through the basics of pairing beer and food. And the beer and food course was built by a Culinary Institute of America graduate and certified Cicerone. My brother was a CIA graduate, as a matter of fact, so great school. There are two versions: the professional version made for chefs, restaurateurs, brewers, and hospitality professionals, and an enthusiast version created for at-home chefs. So learn how to pair beer with your favorite foods, including chocolate, charcuterie, and cheese, and you'll ultimately get to know beer styles, too. Oh, and it's all free. Visit craftbeer.com to learn more.
I like free.
I know.
I know.
You cheap dick.
Falling apart. I must be nervous all of a sudden.
You're about to find out how long you have.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to do the first ever official Brewing Network Death Pool. As you know, we have been talking about this for years, discussing our... Unofficially, that's right. Our various ailments, vices, age...
decrepit body part,
general deficiencies,
mobility, questionable lifestyle.
Yes, all of these things, and estimating over the years who's at the top of the and really we've only ever I think mostly talked about like the top two anyway. We may have extended further every now and then, but we never like posted a list. We never went down the whole thing.
Who cares about third place anyway?
Right? Yeah,
that's right.
They have plenty of time.
So
in this one, third place is the second winner. So there's that.
A runner-up.
So we thought, as we're getting long in the tooth, and have been doing this for a while, we talk about our different ailments, on the air. That it was time to get an official version of the Brewing Network Death Pool.
It's time to get real.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've invited a friend of the show, Russ, who is a cardiac technician. Did I get that right, Ish?
Does the red light mean something?
You tell me.
Does it work? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on.
I'm a registered diagnostic cardiac sonographer. I do cardiac ultrasound.
Okay. Got it.
I look at hearts all day.
You look at hearts all day. And
we're not doing that tonight.
And what they're doing. And
how they're working, how they're pumping. I can usually tell how long you've got.
You can.
Within a few seconds, yeah.
No kidding.
Seconds.
Yeah. Why don't we have that machine here?
Dude.
You don't want to know.
That is you should
have. The crew in this room does not want to know how long they've got.
Can we just put the microphone up to our chest and you can tell us?
She could.
Okay. By she, Dr. Carolyn is also joining us, who is a real live medical doctor. What is your field?
I'm a cardiologist.
You are, okay. So you're
I am a real live medical doctor.
The one and monitoring the thing that will kill us eventually.
For sure.
Basically.
Yeah. So who do we call Doc now?
Right.
I'm confused.
Well, we still have
DDS.
Doc, and we have Dr. Carolyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know what to call Russ. I tried, and it's a long-ass fucking thing, and so he's just Russ.
He loves muffin?
Yeah. We go with
he
that.
loves Russell.
Russell.
Yes.
Actually, he hates Russell.
He hates Russell.
Yeah, he hates it.
All right. Well, we're going to stick with Russ.
Thank you.
And actually, I'm just going to do this for radio. Now that we've made it clear, you're not a nurse. You're
correct.
I'm still going to call you Nurse Russ from now on.
That's true.
But I've not misleading my listeners.
No. I am her assistant, in effect. So that works.
But assistant Russ doesn't have a ring to it. I'm trying to help
Ass
you.
Russ.
Ass Russ,
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Wet Nurse Russ.
So for now, we're going to go with Nurse Russ, and we've made it clear that you're not an actual nurse.
We'll change it later and dub it out? Or
Probably,
It won't happen.
I always need a catchy name. It helps me survive, essentially.
Right.
Like Beardy.
So Russ used to live, a little background, Russ used to live the block over from me, and when I moved in the neighborhood and he found out that I made beer for a living, not for a living, but made beer at home and made 10 gallons at a time, we were instant best friends.
I see.
To the point where one time we had a barbecue and he walked through my glass door, my sliding glass door.
Nice.
It was like a Homer Simpson moment.
It literally was.
Oh, beer.
So Russ is one of us in this room. So,
have you put yourself in the pool?
I have not.
Okay.
I didn't think it would be fair in the odds to make myself the... Is it a winner or
ringer?
Would you count it as a winner tonight if you're going to die first or a loser? How are we?
We were hoping you would figure that out.
It depends on who you're asking. I consider it the winner, yes. Being number one at anything is very important to me.
It's lonely at the top.
I feel like I'm middle of the road. I mean, I could easily get hit by lightning and run over by a bus at the same time as easily as Beardy could. So.
Right.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
So... as I mentioned earlier, we've really done almost everybody at the Brewing Network. There were a couple people who didn't submit. I think some by accident and some deliberately. Tasty decided to opt out of the which I'm pretty sure it's because he's 300 years old.
Correct.
Nobody knows his actual age, but it is somewhere around Moses.
Correct.
Or he mailed his answers in. Instead of email.
That's true. That could have happened.
Lost in the mail.
The fax broke down or whatever.
The original Wells Fargo wagon is still delivering.
Will we re-rank if I receive his results?
Yes.
Okay.
If anybody could ever convince him to participate, then we would re-rank.
Yes.
But in the meantime, have you dealt with how to deal with those who did not submit to the questionnaire?
Do you want to answer this, Carolyn?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. we agreed that we would just assign the 3 people that I'm aware of that didn't answer the same value in terms of odds.
Okay.
I won't reveal it now.
That's great. Good. Okay.
But they aren't ranked. They aren't mixed into the hierarchy.
Because they are either using snail mail, which I doubt, or they're just completely avoiding the questions altogether, which gives us pause for concern that maybe, I don't know who these people are, that they have some things to hide.
This is what I thought, too. I'm glad you're talking about this.
Yeah.
So, do you see this in the field, Dr. Carolyn, when you are questioning a patient, if either you can tell they're full of shit or they aren't answering you, that you end up assigning a level of risk because of that?
Oh, for sure.
You do.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Have you ever said, really? To an answer?
How many times did I say that today?
Really? Yeah.
Really?
So this is... I hadn't actually thought that it would be a thing that you deal with on a daily basis, but of course it is. None of us really want to tell our doctor the truth.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm
different, by the way.
How many packs of cigarettes do you smoke? And they always, like...
A half or a third of that?
I always say, well, so what, do you smoke a carton a day? And then, no, it's only like 4 packs. Instead, if I ask them the other way around, it's maybe a pack and a half.
Right.
Round down.
See, I'm the opposite. My theory is that the one person about your health that you really want to be honest with is your doctor. You're not going to put me in jail. You're going to tell me, all right, so here's the deal. You keep that up. This is what's going to happen. By the way, I can probably give you these meds that might help you with that. And if you're really unwilling to quit that, you should try this. So I'm like, I'm the opposite. But I'm fully aware that most people are like, no, well, I don't do that.
I actually read a lot of the notes from the doctors, and I'm surprised how many people are honest about their drug use.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I lied to my...
and clearly you weren't when you got hired.
I lied to my wife and kids all the time about it. It's fine.
He said it, not me.
They don't know shit. That's why you're not an MD.
I'm practicing.
That's also why they don't get allowance.
Do you have any advice for our listeners out there, Dr. Carolyn, who might be either afraid to be fully honest with their doctor or for whatever reason, of why it's maybe important that they do and how it's maybe a little more harmless than they think, or helpful, rather?
Well, I think that when patients are not honest with us, then we don't have the full picture. We don't really know what's going on, and so we can't really tell you what's going to be the best way to be treated or not be treated.
Yeah.
And nobody's judging you.
Right.
That when you tell the doctor, we're not judging you.
Yeah.
So I think that's important to know.
Other than potentially caring about you,
Right.
maybe you should. You're supposed to give us your professional opinion,
Right.
but we shouldn't take that personal, like we're being judged. It's
Right.
just I'm just trying to help you out.
Right.
By the way, take it or leave it.
You're the one who came to the hospital.
I think that's the big thing is that when people are honest or when people are not honest with me,
Yeah.
or I tell them to do something and they don't do it, it's not. Take it or leave it.
Yeah,
This
and
is my
you're not
opinion.
offended if they haven't listened to you. You just
No.
there's only so much help you can give.
There's only so much I can do.
Yeah,
I think she can do more.
So you can't be.
I've seen her work.
She's
She
lazy.
can do more.
Oh, okay.
Just saying.
So you can't be a cop and a doctor.
I can't be a cop and a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm not a very good
Okay.
cop.
All
I'm
right.
an okay doctor.
Okay, fair enough.
Dr.
Okay.
Cop, MD.
Man, that's a TV show.
That does not sound good.
So, Russ, describe to us what you've done to help evaluate the death pool. You created a questionnaire for us.
Well, I put together a list of questions that I think Dr. Carolyn would ask to her patients on a first-time meeting basis. And I added in a few things that I thought were relevant that maybe she doesn't ask, that maybe tells a little more about a person's background and history. And mental health is just as important as the physical health, too.
Right. I'm glad we didn't have to answer those specifically.
Well,
though.
you actually are the
questionnaire.
Actually, while we're on the subject, you are the one person who didn't answer the questions.
I did not answer anything because, and I'm going to tell. There's two reasons why.
Stuff to hide.
So here, just as an example, they were questions like, when's the last time you had a physical?
No, those weren't the questions.
Or when's the last? Give me an example of a question.
How many Doobie Brothers are there?
No, I was getting to that.
Okay.
But,
I feel like that's
you
the same
answered
as asking
everything
how
else.
old someone is.
But before that, it would be like a real question, and then as a secondary part of that real question, what's your favorite peanut butter?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I ignored all that because I thought first of all I thought it was him, and I was like I don't.
JP.
I was like I already know. I don't have time for this. And I don't have time for a bunch of fucking bullshit.
Your antics.
So I avoided all the questions that I felt like didn't have to do with
that's
my,
what I said.
I ask those questions every day. What's your favorite peanut butter?
Really?
How many Doobie Brothers are there?
Stop. This is not a real thing.
When I put the list together, I didn't know this was the final list going out. This was sort of a rough draft. I was just trying to make up some questions.
More like a rust draft.
Rough. So then all of a sudden, one day I got an email from Bev answering all these questions. I was like, oh.
I did forget to tell you for like 2 days.
I didn't know. I wouldn't have left all that in, but I was suspicious when you didn't answer.
Yeah.
Should Pluto still be considered a planet? I really thought that he's hiding something. It's the first thing I thought of.
Okay, well, I hope it gave you some insight into my psyche.
Yeah, honestly, I thought this is the one guy who took everything serious because he didn't want to waste his time on these questions, and then he skipped all that and did answer the questions after that. So I get where you're coming from.
Well, he is also anti-science, so there's that.
Yeah, maybe
I'm
maybe
fully
doesn't
science
know.
and fully mystical.
Well, this is a good time to ask. You said if any information came out during the course of this conversation, it could change the odds. How do you feel about Pluto? This is scientific.
I could give a fuck.
Okay. And how do you feel about the Doobie Brothers? How many are there?
I don't know.
Okay, I gave him points for not caring.
Yeah.
About those.
Wait,
things.
what?
So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you said who gives a fuck about the Doobie Brothers, that was positive for you.
I mean, that's what I was thinking, but that's not what I wrote.
But you answered, so you lost.
Yeah.
Warren, he looked it up.
You lost some psychology points. You're not comfortable enough in your own skin to give the doctor the finger when they ask you about the Doobie Brothers.
But in fairness, the doctor actually gave me the finger when I asked her about the Doobie Brothers.
Because she's a good doctor.
Right.
And she's going
Probably
to
likes
the
the
Doobie
Doobie Brothers.
Why would I flip the person off that's trying to fix me right now?
No, it's
Nobody
a
can
prostate
fix
exam.
you, Beardy.
It's that finger.
Yeah.
Oh, giving me the finger.
Like you thought it was me. Like fucking around.
Yeah.
I'm funnier than that. Come on.
I just didn't. Well, no, because you'll do silly things like that.
That's true.
And I felt like that maybe they sent you.
And I spiced it up.
Yes.
I punched it up.
Yes.
I want to ask you questions about your balls. That's what I would have done.
You're right. Well, so would the doctor, frankly.
Well,
it's a real physical.
How many grapes wide is your ball?
Heart doctor, that's it.
Waist up.
So, Dr. Carolyn, would you say of these questions that I put together, a good many of those are things you would ask a patient with your first interview with them? Maybe not the peanut butter.
Right.
Or the
Well,
Doobie
I
Brothers.
like the peanut butter. I might add the peanut butter.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good one. But actually, yeah. How old are you? Any surgeries? Any heart problems? That's important.
Yeah.
Some family history in there.
I'm a cardiologist, for crying out loud. Smoking, I ask everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. Don't do that.
Right. I noticed you said cigarettes and vaping.
Aren't they both bad for you, doctor?
I think that we're going to find that vaping is also bad for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're saying
once more people die.
Once more people die.
Wait for a few more deaths.
If you're
Sort of
vaping,
like with cigarettes.
yeah. If you're vaping, you're participating in the sample
I
size
think
right
we're
now.
going to find out that that's not going to be as good as we thought.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
right.
Exercising, that's important. I ask everybody that. Do you exercise?
Yeah.
How much? What do you do?
Armchair curls.
Well, and I think that ties into also what do you do for a living, because some people are more active in their day job and don't go to the gym.
That's true.
Can I interject
I don't think that's as good.
a response to one of the questions about exercising?
Sure.
Yes.
One person said, let me see if I get this right. I hate exercise. I work my ass off and sweat every day, but I'm not going to lift weights when I could be lifting kegs or hops.
Okay.
Who was that?
That's a good answer.
No, that wasn't.
No?
No.
Oh, Jamel, probably.
That guy.
Oh, it has to
And
be.
that's just a guess. We don't need to clarify who that was.
Right.
Because he's not here to release that information.
Wait,
but I'm
who said
guessing Jamel.
Yeah.
Well, unless things changed since I left Heritage.
He's not even doing that.
He did not lift a finger.
Well, I think he said he would rather do that.
Oh, he would rather
No,
do
that's not what he said.
Oh, okay.
If it was
All right.
forced.
Well,
Now,
anyway.
Dr. Carolyn, you just, when Beardy said it at first, you were saying that is not as good as stopping to exercise. Is that right?
So, right. So I have people tell me all day long, hey, I'm very active all day. Well, I'm kind of active all day, too, running up and down the stairs at the hospital and things like that.
Okay.
And I know that when I'm not exercising, I feel it.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I will go up and down 5 flights of stairs at a time and be sucking wind at the top of the stairs. So,
Got it.
Yeah.
So there is a difference
There's a
between
difference.
workplace activity
For sure.
and
You know,
actual exercise.
We went through this phase in life where we said, well, it doesn't matter that you don't exercise all at one time, that you just exercise in blocks here and there, and it's what the sum is over the course of the day. And I think that we're finding that that's not as good. I mean, even the American Heart Association recommends 30 minutes a day.
Okay.
Or 180 minutes a week. Usually not all at the same time. 150 minutes a week to 180.
Do we have a fixed number of beats in our heart?
No.
Over a lifetime?
We do not.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
I've been told that answer before, too. I can't exercise. We only have so many, and I don't want to waste them.
Our president believes that we have a finite amount of energy, and why should we waste it on exercise?
Well,
There was a Justin Timberlake movie about that very thing.
That's true.
Running on a treadmill is not fun.
Let me say this.
Try getting outside.
Over the course of this interview so far, I've become worried for Dr. Carolyn. And here's why. Especially your chosen field as a cardiologist. How do you live every day knowing all the things that are bad for a person and not like beat yourself up constantly or be stressed about this or that? Like, you can't possibly be living the perfect, healthy life because nobody can. How do you deal with that as a doctor?
Well,
Like knowing all the consequences all the time.
you know the consequences, and you say, okay, well, I'm okay with those consequences.
Okay.
That's
Or
your
you say
lifestyle.
you're not, and you change your lifestyle.
Okay.
Quality over quantity.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the healthiest, most conscientious patient or person you've ever met, if you don't mind me asking, where would you put yourself on that scale?
Ooh.
Your brush just moved her.
The cobbler's kid.
You don't have to answer.
It's
That's okay.
I go through the every day off often at
How
home.
many churros did you have last week? How many churros did you have last week?
I don't want to tell you. You were at Disneyland. It doesn't count when you're at Disneyland for crying out loud.
It doesn't count.
Churros
That's a
count.
fact. Medical fact.
And we walked like 10 miles a day each day. So I would say that there are a lot of days that I look at myself and I say, come on, you can't tell patients this all day long and then be a hypocrite about it.
Okay. I feel the same way as a technician, but I do it anyway.
See, I'm less thinking about that part and just about the personal stress of just the knowledge that you hold.
Yeah.
Right. Did you
Each
see what
bite
I'm
of
saying?
the churro, it was like, there goes 5 minutes.
Genuinely not.
The churro was so good.
I'm genuinely not worried that I think that any doctors are hypocrites. I mean, I have gone to overweight doctors. I mean, for God's sake, if Doc never flossed his teeth but told me to do that every day, I wouldn't hold it against him because I know his professional opinion is that what's right. I'm more talking about like when you have to go to sleep at night yourself and you're like, God damn it, my heart's going to explode.
I feel the same way about all the bad beer in the world.
Okay.
It's just like, God, I'm trying to tell people, but nobody listens.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
You're doing the Lord's work.
You're going to die of stress then.
Probably. Yeah, and what does that mean? I'm just stressed out now.
Now that
we'll find out how
top of the heap.
I don't think there were any stress questions in the list.
Those were in the questions about the Doobie Brothers and
Right.
Pluto.
The stress is really for Russ about the Doobie Brothers.
If you didn't feel you had time to answer that question,
I'm clearly stressed out.
You're stressing Russ out by not answering. Actually, I didn't forward you all the Rorschach tests.
Brothers, you stress Russ out.
Okay, so based on this questionnaire, and obviously you guys have thought a lot about this and taken your years of experience into account, you do feel like you've come up with a list for us. Is there anything before we get to our actual list that you'd like to discuss about warning signs or answers that might have been most concerning? Anything like that?
I'll kick that to Carolyn.
Well, we had some.
Okay.
Although, when it comes to like answers that are most disturbing,
All right. This is where we money shot.
Yeah.
Someone answered, "Do you think it's to the question? Do you think it's fair that Pluto got kicked out of the solar system?"
Yeah.
No, I think its new title, quote unquote, is offensive to dwarves. I think that shows some stress.
Oh, wow.
To me, that shows sensitivity.
All right.
Can I share who that was from?
Good.
Okay.
Or the do you smoke cigarettes or vape? Hell no, superheroes don't do that.
Okay.
That's good.
It's stressful to be a superhero.
That's a child at heart.
It is.
Yeah.
Hard to be a superhero.
So would you say, like in general, a comedic, quote unquote, responses to serious questions indicate some level of mental stress?
I think
or just
so.
a juvenile.
It depends on if it was funny.
Depends.
Yeah.
It
Air
depends
quoted.
when you're when I'm seeing a patient and they're trying to be funny
Yeah.
to try to dance around the
Right.
issue.
Yeah.
Then that indicates some stress.
Okay.
Yeah, they're hiding something.
All right.
Yeah.
Not that they're well adjusted and are coping with the hard situations in their life.
I'm not entirely sure that the joking is a well-adjusted coping mechanism.
Okay. Yeah.
I can
Ask
probably
Robin Williams.
vouch for that.
Ask Robin Williams how well adjusted he is.
I'll call him right now.
Okay.
Oh, wait, he's dead.
Oh. So those
Okay.
are probably the best.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of good answers.
There were.
Okay.
Oh, good.
A lot of good references to Jack Bauer.
Okay.
I did one of those.
Most everyone answered very seriously, sadly.
We were told many times to be serious.
We wanted a real list here,
Diet was an interesting
diet was
section of responses.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was going to open up.
Give us some
Russ's eyes.
examples that you found interesting.
And I won't name this person. Very aware of my diet. Try hard to limit carb, grain, sugar intake. Eat protein and veggies as much as possible. Don't drink soda. However, I love ice cream. That's probably my biggest weakness. I try to balance my between being reasonably healthy and eating habits while still enjoying the occasional order of fries and milkshake.
Okay.
That's Moscow.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
By the way, we're not going to confirm any of this. This is
Correct.
our unprofessional opinion on the people that we know.
Can we review your numbers in the room here of what you rated your diet?
Yeah, us in the room here.
Okay.
Sure.
Did Bevo mention Taco Bell?
Bevo is not in the room.
Yeah, so we can't. Yeah.
Sometimes I prop a burrito in the heel of my hand and just push it in like a Play-Doh, mill.
I find that it's better than chewing.
The question was asked, can you describe your diet on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being supersized me lifestyle, and 10 being a kosher tree-hugging vegan?
Okay, yeah.
And
I don't think anybody put 10.
Nobody put 10.
Nobody put 10.
Because we would call them out as a fucking liar in a second.
The only kosher one is Scott. So, and he's the only one who has a chance.
Do you remember, Beer, do you remember what you put?
Probably a 6 or a 7.
That's what I put, 6 to 7.
I think I got the hot
Pick a number, you
under-over
indecisive shithead.
Well, I didn't have enough decisive data to make a decision on, and actually, it's really more relevant to the...
It depends on the day.
Yeah.
Weekends are cheat days.
He didn't ask 1 hour.
Doc?
I should have been a 6 and not a 4. Right?
Should have been.
What did he put?
changed in 3? He put a 4.
I gave a range.
No, I put a 4, but I put the high and the low. I got it upside down.
I didn't even see it, but whatever.
I see.
Well, that should go to his mental state, too. Then.
Exactly.
Yes.
He can't comprehend what he just read.
I'm sorry, we can't change the numbers.
I'm dyslexic. Also.
You've already been voted off.
That's
the
actually
plan.
slick-dexic, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jay?
Yeah. I don't remember what I put.
Well, first
I'm
of
very
all,
stressed right now.
Dr. Carolyn is still trying to figure out your answer to how many Doobie Brothers there are. You put 12T.
Okay, yeah. 12T. That's about right.
Okay.
It's more than 11.
A large family.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
What was his diet answer?
Do you remember your diet answer?
No, I have no idea.
You didn't actually give a number.
Actually give a number.
Oh, I guess I forgot to give it.
Denial. Negative points.
Oh.
Saw a squirrel.
Minus 3 months.
I'm highly stressed at the moment. Leave me alone.
And Justin?
Yeah.
You gave us a number, which is 6, and then you didn't say anything about what.
No answer.
And then
was there a second part? I thought you just said describe
No,
it.
you did.
You did answer the question, but everyone else was so good about. They were flowing with their confessions about.
I see.
I dig for that last fry in the bag like it's my lifeblood.
I thought the question asked for the number
I answer
and then
direct questions with direct answers.
Okay.
I also thought about all the things these assholes are saying, like, it's a range of here to there and whatever. I just averaged that out to a number because there's probably sometimes I'm at 8 and there's probably sometimes I'm at 2 and whatever. I just averaged it out.
But times you're a 10.
No.
No.
And at no times I'm a 1 either.
Right.
If that's fair to say. I don't eat a lot of junk. I just.
But there's too many veggies on his plate. He gets a little nervous.
I like veggies. That's not true.
Too many.
I love them dipped and fried, and
wrapped in charcuterie.
Ranch.
Bev texted me. Apparently she's listening. She says you can talk about my answers. I don't mind.
Okay, yeah. What did Bevo answer on her diet? This one we're curious about.
She said 73.
Yeah,
wait a second.
She's an honest person.
She's been known to hide pistachios. That's an inside joke for Jay.
Oh, okay. Did she elaborate on the question too, or just
she
give a
gave
number?
the shortest answers out of everyone, and she gave a 4.
She gave a 4.
Yeah,
I buy that.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it might be too high.
Yeah, she's being generous.
No, I'm certain that she was nothing but honest. That's a Bevo thing.
Yes,
and
for
actually,
sure.
4 is probably good for Bevo. She probably does even a little better than that.
She actually answered one of her questions with N/A.
N-A.
Not applicable.
Right. She doesn't eat peanut butter or something like that.
She breaks up her Taco Bell diet with cheese plates.
She actually doesn't have a heart, so she's not concerned about it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that besides exercise, besides diet, and smoking and drinking was something that goes along with why some of you guys are going to be ranked.
Oh yeah,
higher.
and I doubled all your drinking.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's
fair.
just like
That's
the cigarette.
fair.
The cigarette.
Well, I was super honest with my drinking.
Cigarettes.
Sure.
Now, again,
They all say that.
the question just asked if you drink daily, weekly, or monthly. You all, I of course answered daily. Did you all give the amount that you drink to?
I forget. I may have.
I think I said
I can't
3
believe
or
how much you guys. If you were ever in a court of law, I'm going to tell you guys right now. Just answer the fucking question. The more you talk, the more you're incriminating yourself.
Hey, I've seen that
true.
lock. I know how to do it.
Yes, everyone was pretty honest with their answers as far as the people I know.
But like you were saying, I want to give all the information I can to get a proper, analysis. And then I remembered stupidly that we're talking about Russ. So I have no idea what that actually will mean.
But so this is so interesting how people think differently. Because I thought about that. I was like, it gave me the choices, and then I thought, well, daily works.
Yeah.
Do they want me to tell them how much daily? But then I just thought, well, they didn't ask. So
Right. I think for me it was guilt for knowing that's bad.
Yeah.
And so then I should explain myself whatever, right?
Okay.
I didn't want my friend Russ to think I drink 7 days a week.
Right.
So I said 3 or 4 days a week.
I see.
But in reality, how often? I wish there were more days
times
in the
an
week.
hour.
Yeah.
Well, Justin would drink it when he's sleeping if he gets somebody to pour it.
Yeah. Oh, it tastes so good.
Doc, do you remember your answer?
Yeah.
How often do you drink?
Daily, but I'm on a break.
How long?
It's been 2 weeks, and probably go another till NHC.
3 week hiatus is what you said.
Okay.
You had beers tonight. You're a liar.
That's what I'm saying.
Start over from day
one. How
one.
much did I have?
I don't know.
A couple sips.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
He doesn't remember the Friday before Memorial Day either.
We asked the question, Carolyn and I, Dr. Carolyn and I, about family history.
Yeah.
And this hit home a little bit.
Okay.
I had a little tear in my eye when
I too have a family.
a third cousin got chicken pox when they were 3.
Yeah.
Those were some tough things to read, but
yeah.
But I don't think that was really relevant. We're looking for when you ask for family, what do you want to know?
If Dad had a grabber at 50.
Grabber.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
That's it.
You want to know about Dad?
I want mom, dad, brothers, sisters, early heart attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or in the more extended family, if anybody's died sort of suddenly, like car accidents that you can't explain, or in a drowning or something like that, or they just dropped dead and we don't know why.
I see.
Braces was not an answer. I don't know why.
Was not an answer.
We didn't want that information.
No. Right. I would have put it if I felt you wanted it.
Thank you for leaving that out.
Yes. All right.
But you wouldn't have put it if you felt I wanted it.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Stupid joke.
Yeah. Next.
My sister had braces.
Yeah. I printed it out just so I could cross that out.
You answered. Is that what JP answered?
My sister had braces.
My brother
I guess I didn't ask specifically about cardiac history, but that was what is implied. That's very important.
That was
That's
implied.
pretty much all I ask about.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was implied.
Yeah.
Do you have a doctor? What is it? What did I ask exactly about following up with doctors? Do you go to see one? She sees them in the hospital. Oh, my chest hurts. I want lunch. Can I go home? And then they never come back to a doctor again.
Right.
Yeah. See that a lot.
They go to In-N-Out after
And
saying
then
their chest hurts.
Or Five Guys.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the new most popular one.
It is.
Apparently.
I've heard that.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I'm okay with it, but it's no In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it'll kill you just as fast, but it's no In-N-Out.
Yeah. They do give away peanuts, though. That's nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, but denying yourself that stuff's going to kill you faster.
Being miserable.
Miserable and
It's
stressful.
going to kill you unhappier is what it's going to do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you think? Should we reveal the list starting from the bottom?
I think you have the envelope for each one.
Oh, right.
That's okay.
Open it up.
How about I just write it on this here Post-it note? Just about how much we care about our mortality right now.
Just to review how she, Dr. Carolyn, came up with these.
Perfect.
She didn't know any of you guys.
I like that Dr. Carolyn's now a hermaphrodite, by the way.
Right.
It's very nice of you to reveal.
Yeah, so it is totally unbiased.
Family history.
She was military, so I gotta be politically
Z. Isn't that what they say?
Did we miss anything on the list?
How did you
electronics was a part of it. How much do you spend on?
Oh, yeah, that was an interesting question.
Which is
That's an interesting question nowadays.
It's sedentary, and most people agreed that you're on your phones, you're on your computers, you're on your pager, Warren. I mean, all day people are on these devices.
We're binge watching House of Cards right now.
Oh, yeah.
On our phone.
We were at Disney last week, so
Russ, could I have my copy? And I'm actually just going to give a rundown to our listeners, a quick rundown of the things that we were asked.
Yeah.
Here's the list of questions.
Oh, perfect. That's all I need. Okay, so guys at home, you could play along, and as you discover how we were, weighted here, what's your age, height, weight, and favorite peanut butter? Was the first one. Any major surgeries in your history? Any heart problems in your direct family? Which is outlined clearly as mother, father, brother, sister, or pet hamster.
No braces.
How often do you drink? Daily, weekly, or hourly? Do you smoke cigarettes or vape? How often do you exercise? When was your last physical exam with a medical professional? See, that's the kind of clarity I required.
Not the masseuse on the corner.
I got my feet rubbed at the spa.
And then offering free exams right outside the Huffernade.
And did it require follow-up, and did you actually follow up? When's the last time you had blood work done, besides by law enforcement? And was there anything notable, such as high cholesterol or discovery of Vulcan blood?
Could happen.
Any drug use that you care to admit? Be as honest as possible. Do you know what an advance directive is, and do you have one? Can you describe your diet? And we talked about this, a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being super size me lifestyle, and 10 being a kosher tree-hugging vegan. Do you think that it's fair that Pluto got kicked out of the solar system? How many Doobie Brothers are there? Do you take any prescription meds? What are they, and can I bum a couple? That one I like.
I can't give you any, but I can sell you some.
I got some for sale.
I didn't ask to buy.
And then finally, how many hours a week do you watch TV, play video games, or spend on electronic devices? So this is the information we're looking at. And then, of course, Russ knows us all a little bit, too, so hopefully that got taken into account. So if there's anything else you want to add about the evaluation, or otherwise, we should start with the least likely to die first, of course, leading up to our big winner.
Or loser.
Grand prize winner.
Can we? Yeah, we could. Can we say the names? Or?
Oh yeah, names.
You have to. So the least to worst, right?
And just as a reminder, the 3 that did not contribute have been weighted, based on your experience, and included in the death pool.
So we actually gave Bev the lowest risk of dying.
Wow.
What a loser.
Really?
Wow. She's a woman. We got 10 years on you guys.
Huge.
I see.
Huge factor.
Well, about kids?
When it comes to heart disease, we've got 10 years.
Is that right? That's the common thing? Okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I got to say, I had Taylor or Beardy at the bottom of the list.
For sure.
Who is Taylor one of the 3 that's not here?
He's
not here.
Yeah.
He's screwed.
So Bevo is least likely to die. Congratulations, Bevo.
And her
odds?
odds?
Gave her odds of 45 to 1.
Okay.
Wow.
45 to 1.
Whoa.
45 to 1 that she'll die first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
My
payout.
my sphincter puckered a little bit. Like I'm nervous.
Right.
Why? Because did you really expect you were going to be last?
No, but just because I guess I expected for her to be last. I expected those numbers to be wider.
Oh, I understand.
Like a higher top ratio number, right?
They're going to get wider.
Okay. All right.
And not in a good way.
Fuck.
So
it's about to go down.
At least we don't have to sit through all of our funerals.
See?
That's true.
Okay.
This should put stress on Bev.
Right.
No. She got buried.
Just to play in all of our funerals. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Next.
Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
All right. Warren.
Whoa!
Oh, Beardy.
Damn, I have to sit through everybody else's except Bevo's
Really?
funeral.
That's Beardy?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe we need to put him a little higher.
That's true. I do agree that you gave me a bad ranking.
Okay.
I mean, there's certainly reasons why we put everyone where they are.
Okay.
And
are we re-ranking him?
No, we're not.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Accidental death, I feel like, should be a factor.
I think age,
height, and weight.
I think Dr. Carolyn's feeling like he was full of shit on his questionnaire now that she's met him.
One thing you should have asked is how many stitches have you had in your life? Because I think my count would probably be higher than a lot of the people in the BN.
Not being able to see low objects and running into them does not count.
Or sharp objects.
Yeah.
Your familiarity with sharp objects.
All right, well, you're close to where I thought you'd be.
Well,
yeah.
Tell them the number.
So we gave him 30 to 1.
30 to 1.
Moving up, buddy.
There's room to grow.
Is
JP gets more nervous.
Is everybody really as comfortable with this as I am, or are you guys fucking freaking out right now? Like, JP, you're kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
And Beardy, do you give a shit? Are you good with your mortality?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
Okay.
gonna. I'm not going to care afterwards, right?
I'm just checking. Doc, are you comfortable?
I've lived longer than anybody in this room. I'm
Okay.
good.
All right.
I've seen some shit.
My anxiety centers around my mortality.
Did you take something before the show?
No.
Yeah, oh, man.
Let's put it in relative terms. Let's say we were all going to die in a 10-year period 40 years from now.
Okay.
Then
I see.
Then who would be the first to go 40 years from now, rather than it's going to happen tomorrow?
Or who's already gone?
No, I don't like this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too nice.
No, I don't want to add that caveat.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. JP knows what he got himself into.
Okay.
Yeah, I
and
do.
I'm talking like fucking it could happen.
Like right now.
Oh, my DNR will be up way before that.
I'm kind of curious what's going to happen to Taylor.
He's not in the
Taylor
bottom
and
two.
Shimkey, I think, are younger than me. So
Okay.
All right.
Who's next?
The person who gave the most information
was? If they're in this room, I guess you could say.
They're not in this room.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you can say who it
Brian.
is anyway, yeah.
Brian.
Brian Shar. No, Brian.
Oh.
No, Brian Shar.
Brian
Jesus
Shar.
Christ.
Cooper.
Brian Cooper. Yeah.
Gave the most information.
My co-host on Dr. Homebrew.
He did give a lot of information.
Oh, you should see his score sheets.
All right, he's low on the deck.
He's a score sheet guy, dude.
Yeah.
And was it both the actual information he gave and his willingness to give information that
I think
weighted
so.
him? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we have to fill in the blanks for people like Warren that didn't provide answers, and I know maybe Warren wasn't totally.
I said I like chunky peanut butter.
That wasn't the right answer.
Me too.
No.
Oh,
Chunky peanut butter is the best.
that's the only one that has peanuts in it.
No peanut butter's the best.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So
Okay.
we can bring out the Academy Awards people to
We
explain
did
our
have
ranking.
a little difference of opinion over the Doobie Brothers question, but
I see.
What was the right answer?
There's no
Well, it
right
depends.
answer.
His answer.
I'm sure Brian gave you a paragraph on the fucking Doobie Brothers, too.
He actually
Depends
did.
on the year.
He did, yeah. What was his...
25-1.
Wow. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Do you agree or not? I don't know.
Well, notice how the difference between me and Bev was 15 points.
Yeah.
And the difference between me and Brian is 5. It's narrowing fast.
Bev just texted me. She goes, hell yeah.
She's gonna have another beer and a burrito.
By the way, we just jinxed her. She's going to have a heart attack tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And then she said she's not going to any of our funerals. So that sucks.
Fuck that.
We didn't ask. We just asked you to plan them.
Yeah, you don't have to go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just order the food.
Don't worry, guys. I'll know if she did or did not go to your funeral.
Yeah,
Can she remote?
you apparently will.
Right.
All right, next up.
I'm nervous
All
for
right.
you guys.
This is Scott
Which Scott?
Moskowitz.
Oh, okay. Moscow's on there now, low on the list.
All right.
He's 20-1.
20-1.
20-1.
And do you want, without discussing details, even general factors that put him at this?
Let's see.
We felt there was a group of people that were close in terms of their
Yeah.
lifestyles.
Okay.
Not knowing them, but based on the information they gave us, be it honest or not,
Yeah.
that there really wasn't a lot of risk factors, right?
Right, or they sort of there was conflicting sort of risk factors. My diet's great, but I drink a ton every day and I smoke and la 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 la.
I see.
But my diet's great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Which one of those answers?
You got to balance these things out.
Yeah. Which one trumps? If you exercise a lot,
Good question, Warren.
but you eat like shit, how does that factor into your net ranking?
It's hard to tell. That's where it's hard to tell. It depends what you're eating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you smoke, forget it.
This is where the answer is to
so that's the trump.
This is where the Doobie Brothers question comes in.
I think I know who's at number one.
I think we already knew who was at number one.
Okay.
Does it change things if I tell you that Moscow's a pathological liar?
That is true.
Does that help?
Maybe.
Also, he will be very unhappy about his 20-1 odds.
Oh, he'll be like, no! I want to see the data.
Yeah.
All right, Moscow, you're 20-1.
Just to support some of his answers, do you smoke cigarettes or vape? No. Any heart history problems in your direct family? No. And these are big questions.
Yeah.
So we have to assume he's telling the truth.
So what made him not Bevo, for example?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he
doesn't have.
He's a male.
There's that 10-year thing you're talking about. Okay, fair enough. All right, good. All right, who's next?
You guys getting nervous?
No.
The three other guys in the room?
Yeah, anybody who doesn't know where they're ranked?
Yeah.
Are you getting nervous?
No, I'm fine. It's great.
Yeah.
Anyone want to guess where they are?
No. Just go.
Let's see. Of the people, we haven't heard about.
Yeah, I think we should
we
guess
still haven't heard
the
about Taylor or Kim.
Well, right. That's what I'm concerned about.
These are the people that didn't answer.
I'm concerned about my buddy.
Who are the people that didn't answer?
And Taylor.
Did Taylor and Kim not? We only gave it to them.
I know
over
Kim
the
did.
Yeah,
I don't know if Taylor did or not.
Okay. I only have.
There's no Taylor.
I'm going to put Kim next. I think she's got to be coming up.
I only have 4 people left that I saw answers for.
Oh, really?
Well, I know Casey didn't do it. I know Jay didn't do it. I know Keith didn't do it from the other half of Dr. Homebrew. I don't know if Taylor actually did it or not.
Okay, but we have.
But if there's only 4, that's
we have
Jamel and you guys.
We know we have
Taylor, Kim.
I know we have Kim.
Who?
Me, you, Doc. We have 6 people left.
I don't have a Kim.
The numbers are
You
off.
don't have a Kim. Okay.
She's told me that she sent it to you. So
what's her email? I'll look it up real quick.
Say it out loud. So
She actually forwarded it to me, and I was like, I'm not going to read this. Send it to Rush. She goes, I did. Well, then why are you sending it to me?
Maybe she wanted you to read it.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe we need to recalculate.
No.
This could change. There were 3 people I sent JP last night that I didn't hear from.
Let's forget it. Let's leave Kim out of the death pool. It's no big deal. She's young and healthy, and I don't want to jinx her, but she's probably doing okay. And I don't want to rearrange the whole list at this point. This may not be the last time we call you in to do the death pool. So
if somebody dies that's in the middle, we re-rank.
Yeah.
We got
or
reorg.
if anybody drastically changes their life. Sorry, I couldn't even finish the sentence.
What's his ranking again?
The left side, my left temple is starting to get sore.
Yeah.
So let's continue on.
All right, who's after Moscow?
All right, so this is Doc.
Doc! What the fuck, Doc?
That's
you lied
exactly...
your ass off on this questionnaire.
Nah.
I did get the diet wrong, though.
Okay.
He did get the diet wrong.
Yeah, he said
That's
he
okay.
did it back.
We gave him a 17-1.
Good.
Why is Doc ranked here?
He's not in his 30s anymore.
I'm not even in my...
They don't make him like they used to.
Yeah,
he's built like a tank.
Again, any heart disease problems? No.
Questions are good.
Doesn't smoke or cigarettes or vape. Did you say you exercise 4 to 5 times a week, except when life gets in the way?
Yeah, exactly.
So he never fucking exercises.
Right. He hasn't exercised in 30 years.
Life gets in the way a lot of the time.
I go 2 or 3 months of doing that, and then I don't for 2 months, and then I get back into it again. So.
Okay.
So when you say when life gets in the way, you mean like for months at a time when life gets in the way?
Yes.
You don't know Doc.
Would you like to change his ranking?
Doc's life gets in the way. He derails.
Yeah. By the way, there is no Doc's life without something in the way.
Right.
Right now,
I feel like that is life.
Well,
we'd like to change him to
27-1. 20 instead of 17.
Yes.
Okay. 27-1.
Wait, that moves him down.
Yeah,
that makes it better.
If I freak out right now about fucking pens not working, do I get moved up the list?
This isn't looking good.
I need 1 pen.
So that moves him up. So Scott is more likely to die than Doc.
You're gonna let the doctor see you melt down?
Yes, I can't handle that.
Or are you moving him down?
Yeah. There's a glass full of pens.
Right, you picked the.
I'm sorry. Let me make. I did go the wrong direction.
Okay.
Yeah, he's more likely. Let me see what the next one is.
Wait, we're keeping Doc right there at 27?
No, we're evaluating
10,
right now.
10-1.
I might have to get
Whoa, 10-1, and he still stays in the same place?
Yeah. Well, he had some good answers.
Wait a second. He was 17-1, then went to 27.
I went the wrong
27 was the wrong one.
10-1. I'll take 10-1.
Do you know what an advanced directive is, and do you have one? He said it's posted on my refrigerator.
Yeah, which is a Doc answer, by the way.
So if somebody happens to find you in your,
that's the first place the paramedics look is on the refrigerator.
Really?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's probably true. Yeah.
And no, I don't have it on the refrigerator.
Maybe I should read your refrigerator.
But you should.
He said my diet, lots of salads, chicken, fruit, minimal fast food, occasional steak is still a welcome companion.
Yes.
Wow, are you writing a fucking novel?
A welcome companion?
You haven't eaten around me lately.
Lately.
Okay, see? So he's gone through a little fucking run of a health kick.
The last 6 months.
Oh, my God. Doc, I'm sorry, but you are full of shit right now.
Well, 10-1 is pretty low.
You're looking at your life as a whole,
No, I
but
wasn't.
the last couple of years, Doc?
I'm looking at the last
since Tuesday.
Since I've been out on my own. How about that?
And you're making friends with steaks.
All right, Doc.
Yeah. I'm not going to deny I
go.
don't like a steak once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this would actually be he would actually be third based on our final.
Even with your lies, you're still third. Now wait a minute. Third.
Yeah. Based on the next person.
Yeah, there's only 2 people left in the room.
You have 2 more. However, I thought we were going to put the others in the ranking.
I haven't gotten to them yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
sorry.
So they're high.
You're right. Okay.
Because I want to get. I want us to move to number 1.
All right.
And if they're in the ranking somewhere.
Right. Should I tell you the ranking of the people that didn't answer?
Unless they're number 1.
They're not.
Okay.
I gave them 5-1.
You gave them all 5-1
because I had no information other than assuming that. And I'm sorry to the person whose email I didn't see.
But, it's all right. Don't worry about
it. She's probably 5-1.
She's probably dead already.
Yeah.
So 5-1 that they will die before any of us, but they don't have an official ranking in the death pool.
That 5-1's their ranking.
I think that's a fair assessment. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if Doc is 10-1, and he at least answered,
yeah,
truthful or not.
Okay, so
I'll take a picture of my refrigerator, and then you'll just eat shit.
So let me get this straight. We have 2 people left that did answer.
3
people left that answered.
Right. It was originally I had Doc at 17-1.
Yeah,
and
Jamel.
And Jamel.
So I feel a little better.
I underestimated his death potential.
I have to say, of all the people that did answer that I know and don't really know, I trusted Jamel's answers not as much.
Not as much. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, heretic.
That's fine. Okay, so we've got 3 left.
Yep.
And then, however, our odds could still be better than those that didn't answer. So just keep that in mind,
you said, were they number 1? You said no.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So they pretty much can't be.
You want Dr. Carolyn would like to announce?
No, I gotta say, if we gave Doc 10-1,
yeah,
we maybe need to adjust this one.
Okay.
So is Doc now number 2?
No, we're not adjusting.
No. Oh, okay.
All right. Even though you know he's a fucking liar now.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So
it gets my stress to go away.
We're gonna make this one 9-1.
So Jamel is 9-1.
Right. So we're still going in order.
So Jamel's next.
So Jamel is the new number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jamel's 9-1.
He's number 3.
Well, we gave originally. I had put him at 12. And Doc at 17, forgetting about the others. But we've actually given Doc 10-1. I'm sorry.
Those are the worst pins, dude.
I'll take 10-1.
I'll take. I like those odds.
And Jamel is 9-1.
I got him here too, Jay. So don't worry about it.
Jamel has factors that I don't think he actually put in his answers.
Okay.
So the guy who has a severe medical history and is lying ranks lower than we do.
You and I. Oh my God.
I fucking hate Rush. This is a mistake. Tasty's right. I'm leaving.
I didn't even think about that Jamel, he's got a little history, and he's older, and he's a stressed out mother. I'm pretty stressed out. That fucking guy. Wow. All right.
Now, I don't know Jamel well, but would you agree with?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Well, then,
every time I see him, he's just like wrung out, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Actually, Tasty aside, Jamel is the one that it's pretty much me, Tasty, and Jamel in the fucking lineup is how I've mentally seen it for years now. Tasty because he's Moses, Jamel and I because our lifestyle decisions.
Okay,
basically.
But JP's the wild card.
Yeah, he is. I actually expected to see JP on this list already.
Fucking too,
I am
bro.
surprised that
you
are
me
here.
and my anxiety as well.
So it's basically between you and I at the top.
I know, and I fucking hate that.
By wild card, I meant at the top of the list, not wild card at the bottom of the list.
Right.
Can we go to the phone board to see who people are voting for? Is there a switchboard?
Without Bevo tonight, there are no phones, unfortunately. But
what's
I'm
fucked
highly
up
engaged
is Tasty's unwillingness to participate, which I get now.
Yeah. Well, just keep
that's you're throwing this whole thing off.
Well, keep that as solace that if you land even at number 2, you might not actually be number 2. You could be number at the most. You could be number 3.
Right.
So with age comes wisdom.
Right.
Plus, if randomly Shimke would have listed a history of heroin use, you could be number 4 on the list,
and all of her boyfriends.
So yes. Okay.
Well, after this, I will forward you her email, and then you can get back to me with a re-ranking or something.
No, we're not re-ranking until the next full.
No, not re-ranking, but I will put her into the
your own mental ranking.
Exactly,
that way he can sleep better.
Based on her ratio, I will place her appropriately.
Okay. All right. The number 2 most likely to die on the Brewing Network.
How can this not be personal at this point?
Man,
this is amazing.
I feel like you guys could just stare at each other.
You have no idea what a victory I will consider it at this point to be number 2.
Oh my!
It's a real shocker here, Brad. 2 heavyweights going at it.
What an upset!
Valve to valve.
You know, if it's the wrong answer, you'll be thrown out immediately.
Has my bar bill been paid yet?
Yeah. Remember who you're sitting closest to.
Well, the last time I've seen this...
piss myself.
Never mind. Should I tell the story that we talked about?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, did you get extra information?
I have a backstory.
Okay.
When I was catering weddings, there would be tons and tons of people. And there would be a buffet of food, and the bride and groom would always go first. They'd be the most special people there. Then next would come their family, right? They would get to go eat next. Meanwhile, the people that aren't as important in the wedding get seated way in the back.
The wedding crashers.
Okay. The wedding crashers, right. So as a little peon caterer, it was our job to go dismiss tables one at a time with the bride and groom, then the family, and then the people that were less important toward the back. Till you got to the very, very back when there would be 2 tables left. These people have been sitting there for half an hour, 45 minutes. The food is probably fucking cold.
Probably not very good.
They're regretting that they even bought the toaster that they gave to these people or whatever. And they're looking at you like, you can pick us, you can pick them. Who's it going to be?
Yeah.
And in the end, I sent them both up at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see what's happening.
I don't like this story. No. There has to be a winner and a loser. This is not soccer.
No, that's like kickball when you're picking sides and you get down to the last few losers and they just go, and you guys go over there and you guys go over there. They don't have pick.
So I'm all right with it being close.
All right, and it is close.
Okay.
So if we read between the lines, that means Russ did not have the heart to tell his friend JP
that he's number 1.
Yes,
all right. Go ahead and
so you're tied
on your scientific data.
Before you say who won, you want to tell them what the odds are for second?
We gave this one 7-2.
7-2. Most likely to die first.
Okay.
Is the second. Which means what?
Wait, what
number
are the odds
1 is 7-1?
3-1.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's a spread.
A little one.
But it is the second, it is the first.
Yeah.
Compared to 45-1?
Right.
Fucking bullshit.
It's a long shot.
All right, who's number 2?
This is going to be to JP. Mostly because he answered that there are 12 Doobie Brothers.
It's a bias.
What?
We had to go with
the... Was he 7-2? Okay.
7-2.
Yeah.
By the way, we already said that the people that I didn't get responses from were 5-1, right?
Right.
Okay. And so I gave you, Justin, 3-1.
3-1 chance that I will die first. No upset here.
Yeah.
Based on?
The answer is given.
Go on, elaborate.
I think he feels bad even for your health history.
Your risk factors.
First of all, you just ate Chipotle when you answered that.
Yeah, that's good.
That could be death killer right there.
What?
A death
Yeah,
killer?
did they have some Ebola breakout or something?
I did
like
because
that
I had
recently?
weighed myself. I was like, well, it's a little over what I should be. I just ate Chipotle, so that's why I added it.
All right.
Without giving a lot of personal information out, do you smoke cigarettes or vape?
Yeah. Everybody knows
we
that.
did remember.
So
yeah,
that's
a key factor.
That's a key factor, the smoking, yeah.
Not answering, of course, the Doobie Brothers helped you.
It helped me.
It helped you. Because
Just to Russ, not to me.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was ultimately...
And I put, like, the heart trouble, I put that shit in there. Was that a factor? Like, family history of it, basically.
Yeah. Yes, Dr. Carolyn can speak to that.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
How old was your... How old?
My dad?
Yeah.
I want to say, like, 65. And by the way, the surgery I'm talking about was years ago. Like, he had the quadruple bypass, like...
when did that happen?
I want to say almost 10 years ago. So in his 50s. And he stopped smoking after that, but smoked since he was like 2 until then.
Does Spare Dad count?
And a number of other things. I didn't put Spare Dad in there, although he did die of a massive heart attack.
But he's not a direct...
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. But he did cause stress in his life.
And smoked 3 packs a day around me my whole life.
Yeah.
So basically, I've been also smoking since I was 2.
I'd like to add just a footnote that I'm praying that you outlive JP. I mean,
thank you.
I actually told JP at the beginning, I said, you'll probably go first, not knowing who was in it.
Yeah.
I said, actually, you'll probably live the longest because that's the jerk that usually lives the longest.
I see, yeah.
Oh.
Right.
So I want to qualify that.
Right. So that was actually a compliment because it would make you not a jerk if you died first.
Right. But what I meant was he'll live the longest because nobody likes him.
Right. That's true.
I think I speak for all people on...
I have a 3-to-1 chance of dying first.
The heart issues with the family only listed as far back as parents. My grandfather...
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's
died
too late.
super young.
Dr. Carolyn's shaking her head now.
I had 2 grandfathers die younger. Does that matter?
You're 30 to 1, Warren.
Okay.
What do you want?
Warren, I wish they had died before they had kids, okay? Shut up.
Yeah.
I wish they died at 2.
By the way, stop trying to move up the death pool.
Are you just trying to live longer, JP, by being an even bigger jerk?
Yes, god damn it. You ugly fuck.
You might outlive Bevo.
Good.
If you keep this up.
Fuck her, too.
Wow. So, there you have it. I'll read you the list again. Least likely to die, Bevo. Second least likely, Beardy. Goes up to Brian Cooper. Then Moscow and Doc rounding out the middle of the list. Then you've got Jamil. 9-to-1 chance, Jamil. You might want to think about your life choices. JP.
Wait, the 3-way tie.
The 3-way tie between Tasty J and Kim.
Yeah.
Oh.
The unanswered.
Well, wait, so they're in between JP and me.
No.
They're 5 to
1.
Yeah.
7 to 2 is 3.5 to 1.
3.5 to 1.
Oh, I see. So Jamil, and then we stick Tasty and whoever the other 2 are, Kim and Taylor, I guess, in there.
And Jay. So I got to put
Jay.
Taylor in there too.
Yeah. JP coming in strong second.
Basically, he'll have a heart attack while throwing dirt on your grave.
Yeah. And Justin, no surprise, a 3-to-1 chance of dying before all of you, winning once again, ladies and gentlemen.
Going out a winner.
By the way, we got to wrap this up. I need a cigarette. There we go.
Well,
I need a beer and a smoke.
They did say that
maybe a little Coke.
JP beat you by one shitty joke about the Doobie Brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the more important question. How do I move down the death pool?
Don't have cancer again.
Stupid answers like Tofty.
That hurt. It really hurt.
I'll change my ways.
If you die, for example, you'll be off of it entirely. So
that's true.
Mentally, that will help.
Yeah, that's true. No, what can Jay can just quit smoking or whatever, but I don't smoke, so I can't do that.
Yeah, let me ask that. With the other info I put on there, just out of curiosity, if there was the no smoking, would I have moved much? Greatly? A little? None?
Well, you didn't answer a lot of the important questions.
Oh, my
God. Like Pluto, Doobie Brothers. Come on.
You gotta be kidding me.
You must be hiding something that you don't want to answer.
You're hiding something.
It's hard to fix things like family history.
Yeah.
Or intelligence.
Yeah.
General knowledge.
Yeah. You're well taken, Doc. Yeah. All right.
Like, I feel like my family history isn't terrible. But
JP, the writing is on the wall.
Shit.
Oh, wow, it is on the wall.
But maybe, like, what do I need? Like, exercise more or what? Like, what do I do?
You know what?
I don't.
All those things. Exercise more, worry less. You'll be fine.
Chips and candy.
I'm pretty good.
More of it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with my diet.
More of it.
Yeah.
Stale chips.
Take your cat for a walk.
Yeah, more cat walking.
Any more?
I'm too sexy for the catwalk.
Oh.
None of you will ever be Bevo. I think that's important to know.
Well, I mean, that spread is miraculous.
I mean, it's
yeah, it is.
Beardy, you shut up. You're right there. 30-1. Shut the fuck up, Beardy.
Yeah, but I can't overcome her 1 to 45 odds.
Well, she has.
What can I do for that?
You can't make up the 10 years that she has.
You can't grow a vagina, basically.
She's almost 10 years older than me, isn't she?
There is that operation.
I don't think so.
She's not that old.
I don't know how old
dude.
she is.
How old are you?
Said we could share any information.
31.
31.
She's not 41, dude.
Yeah.
I said almost.
She's not 40, dude.
She's not even close. She's like 37.
She listed her age at 26.
Not even that. Oh, okay. That sounds right.
No, she lied. She put 33. I'm kidding, Bevo.
Oh, yeah. She's even younger. That's
I
right.
feel like she rounded down 3 years.
Wow.
It just seems like she's been around here longer.
Well, JP, how are you going to do tonight? Are you okay?
My chest hurts a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm okay.
Well,
my bladder is 3/4 full right now.
Would you like Dr. Carolyn to take your pulse or anything? Or you
no,
feel like
because it will be probably high. Because I don't like this.
And she might move you from 2 to 1.
Yes.
You think?
Now my chest hurts.
All right. Well, I feel like I have won today. I also
a small victory.
I also feel like if I want to change my attitude on life, I have the most chance for improvement of all of you.
I want to know my chance for
cup is half
improvement.
full.
More exercise or what? I need to know.
You win by bumping somebody else ahead of you.
Or somebody dies.
Yeah, that's true. I think JP would genuinely like to know what he has to do to maybe improve his chances in life.
Have you moved away from Russ yet?
Russ moved away from me, and then I'm moving farther away. So
that might help.
Incrementally, it's getting better.
There you go. That could move Jamil above you. Anything else? Do you have to exercise, or I think you know these. Yes, of course you should exercise.
Well, I know I exercise, but I don't know.
How do you eliminate stress?
Finish the divorce.
Heroin.
I don't think that's a good way to eliminate stress.
All right. Well, I'll just assume that I should exercise more frequently than I do now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gonna start tomorrow?
I'll fucking run home, dude. I will run home.
I think more IPA in your diet.
Think so? Think that's what it is?
Yeah.
The cloudy type.
Whatever.
B12 deficiency.
I didn't like this game.
I'm perfectly comfortable.
You were so close.
No, he thought I was going to be ahead of him.
I thought most of y'all was going to be fucking ahead of me.
Well.
Oh, man. You want to go have a cigarette with me and relax a little bit?
Take the edge off?
Kind of do.
Yeah. The nicotine will calm me down.
I'm happy with the result. You know what? I've had a good time so far on this earth.
Right.
It's fine.
It's good being on top.
Yeah, that's right.
It's good to be the king.
Victory again.
Of the dead.
Look, Mom, on top of the world.
See? I don't know how to lose, guys.
Where did you expect you were going to end up, Justin?
Oh, totally number one.
Okay.
Yeah. My only question actually was if Tasty had participated, and frankly, that's it's not even genetics. He could have done almost anything and probably maybe been at the top. I would have found it more of a victory if I was more likely to die than Tasty. I would have felt that
it would have been much sweeter.
Yeah, it would have been like a real achievement.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that we could get that data, but unfortunately, we could not.
I think he's skewing everything.
Yeah.
We could make it up.
Like, I don't think it would have 7-2 odds if Tasty had been in there.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. But what are you going to do?
Whatever helps you.
As it stands, we should all accept the results, work to improve them if you choose. And I hope you know that the two of you have been wonderful, which now makes you our de facto Brewing Network medical professional.
That's true. That's a true and correct statement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, now I have a headache.
Like it or not.
So I have this thing on my back I need you to look at.
Yeah.
I'll be right over.
It's actually 12 inches up my butt.
Drop your shorts.
On his
lower back.
How low?
My inside lower back.
Could you find us a proctologist next time, Russ?
Oh, boy.
I would...
Don't point the finger.
Genuinely like to thank you for your time and expertise on this. It's a lot of fun to have you guys come in, so I appreciate that very much. Russ, thanks for putting this together.
Thanks, Justin.
JP, well done.
Thank you.
Finally getting an actual death pool.
Certified.
We'll see what we do with it now. We got to put together a Super Bowl graph, whatever it's called, chart, and I
feel like before NHC we should try to maybe revisit, or maybe after NHC revisit where we would be. I don't know.
No, we got to put some time on it. I think the changes don't happen overnight, right, Doctor?
Yeah. 2 or 3 people did qualify their answers by saying, "My life would be different if I answered this right after NHC." Just to be fair.
To be fair,
okay.
What are the odds we're going to die at NHC?
No one said that.
Now, clearly, it could happen to me or JP.
At least you're not a 1-to-1.
Yeah, that's true. And frankly, if I landed at the top, I expected it to be somewhere around the 2-to-1 range. So I did good there too.
All right, God bless.
Good on you.
Yeah. All right, you two. Thank you so much. You don't have to run out. Stay with us. We're going to wrap things up right now anyway. But I appreciate your time and happy to get that off our chest, huh, JP?
Yeah, I feel so much better right now.
Do we all need to go home with you? Make sure nothing bad happens?
Maybe.
All right, don't forget to go over to Beersmith and get your free homebrew software. Well, it's free 21-day trial anywhere. You can check it out yourself. Go to beersmith.com. Also go to Adam and Eve, and you can probably relieve stress by purchasing things over at Adam and Eve. Use coupon code BNARMY, BNARMY, and you get free shipping, and you can pick a dildo for half price, whatever. All that, all the stuff.
All the things.
Just go over to adamandeve.com and do that. Make your life better at adamandeve.com. I just invented that slogan for that.
Make your life better.
Yeah.
As a doctor, how does getting a dildo for half price affect your stress level in life?
Good question. What's your professional opinion, Doc? Dirk. had to caveat that one.
You almost got an answer.
Anything?
You're making me blush.
She's a cardiologist, right?
It doesn't matter.
Doctor.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
We didn't tell you how to use it.
Also, don't forget that Brewers Publications has recently put out the all-new How to Brew, John Palmer's newest rendition of the book, and it is fantastic. So check all that out. Next week, we got St. Arnold Brewing Company on the program. I will not be here, but JP and the crew will be holding down the fort and doing a great job, not dying, and providing great content on the show.
Too soon.
So thanks, everybody, and I'll see you when I can.
We got Twitter game.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
But the music's already coming up.
I can do it all real fast.
Go.
Okay. So it was which part of the BN crew do you want to hang out with in the bunker for the next road trip?
I wonder if it's now been altered.
Right. Yeah. Blobberglop wrote in, said, me and Justin, none of any of you other fuckers.
Yeah, that's my dude.
Lloyd McClover wrote in, he said, my attorney, my sober driver, my massage therapist, my bodyguard, my hangover doctor. Sorry, BN, no room for you guys.
Okay.
It's too bad. Clayton says, all of you are God tier, including Doc, but I would exclude Doc. I'm sure I would die, or worse, survive, never to be the same. Austin wrote in, he said, God tier group would be Roger and Brendan Moylan.
Oh.
We could read their beer reviews while driving and eat pie.
That would be fun.
Drink popsicle.
Yeah.
That kind of would be fun.
He just wants to see Roger's ass.
Right. We saw a lot of that this week.
We did.
Jeff Engel says, the inventor of the NEIPA, JP, and Dr. Bamforth, because I just haven't heard enough discussion on this topic. And then finally, our friend Pete the Dink wrote in and said, I've seen enough. I'll pass.
Okay. I vote the New England IPA one. What do you think?
There you go.
All right, that's our winner.
Good job, Jeff. Nice work, buddy.
Thanks for playing. And, you didn't win the death pool or anything, but you won something important. So, there you have it.
No take-home gifts?
Email Bevo, because she'll be the last one around.
That's right. When we're all gone, Bevo will still be sending out prizes.
Right, she better be.
From the Hop Grenade Studios. All right, is that going to do it?
That's going to do it.
All right, thanks, everybody. JP's going to take you out of here.
All right. Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Matt Kahn from Big Ditch Brewing out of Buffalo sent us some beer and hung out to chat about his take on brewing beers, the New York beer scene, and everything in between. Find out more over at bigditchbrewing.com. Also, thanks to Tech, Russ, and Dr. Caroline for ranking us in the death pool and forcing our life insurance premiums up. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts and go to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info, and follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew, Mike McDowell at Tasty McD, Warren being stuck over at Another Beardy, and the great Beverly crushing cyberspace at Bevo1. However, JP thinks Twitter's dead, and you should follow him on Instagram at Major Jib. Today's show is produced by Bevo and JP, and your host has been Justin. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does